Woohoo! Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 845. Why can't our games escape politics? Question mark. Do they really belong? And this is, again, escape in caps and really caps. And he's showing the picture of the next Witcher game. And what's the other one? I can't remember.
That's whatever the hell Naughty Dog is making, which I really do feel like it's just there to be spiteful.
Okay.
Arcane, there's the D&D whatever.
It's interesting because this is a guy who is a tabletop RPGer. So I don't know how that perspective is going to alter his understanding of gaming. And in D&D or tabletop games, you could do pretty much whatever you want. You're god of your own world, which is great. And I think from that perspective, he's going to say, yeah, you could do whatever you want. But within the context of today and the wonderful Overton window, which has shifted so far left that it has impacted.
Yeah, like I know there's a lot of drama with Witcher 4 with Ciri being a protagonist, but that's definitely something Witcher 3 was building up.
Possibly, yeah.
That's something I'm more gonna wait and see because I'm not gonna jump on one bandwagon over the other. I'm not gonna pry into the hysteria just for the sake of clicks on Twitter.
Well, they're going to have to either retcon or explain the endings of Witcher 3 because you could have chosen Ciri to be the next leader of Niflgaard or something else.
Nilfgaard.
Yeah,
because then you're going to have to pick one to be the canonical ending.
Maybe. Yeah, because didn't they say at any point? Didn't they say at some point in the trilogy that she could not be a Witcher straight up?
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, the Lord does say that you can't be unless you're a child.
Yeah. Women and adults cannot survive the process, but maybe through some magic bullshit they found a way. I'm not. Like I said, I'll have to wait and see.
That's exactly the point. The necessity for this headcanon bullshit of, maybe Palpatine survived. He's back. Is exactly the reason why this shouldn't have been done.
Yeah,
because you better need to come up with this shit.
They better have a damn good explanation, or just make it where while she's the protagonist, she's not a witcher. She's just a very skilled monster hunter.
Yeah, good luck with that.
All right. Let's get started. This is from J. Martin, Play Your Role. And that's a very strange title for a YouTube channel. It sounds like everyone should stay in their lane. I'm the right guy to say so. But no, he's just a GM for D&D. So good for him.
And a game master? What is that called?
A game master.
A gay master, yeah.
Okay, all right. He's got a bunch of links to, I don't know, DonaldTrump.com. I didn't know that was a thing. BBC, PBS, and I don't know what this is. PolitiFact. What is happening? I don't know. Okay.
Are we covering a right-wing moron today, or?
We don't know. I have no. I've never heard.
Definitely.
Of it. We will find out. Anyway, 31 minutes. Here we go.
Politics. That'll work.
Oh, Lord.
I will find one frame in there that will work for that.
I beg you to put that in the video.
I bet you'll make excuses.
Yeah, that's pretty good. There's been a lot of chatter online about politics in games, movies, media, etc. And generally the things we do for fun, honestly. From video games to movies to tabletop RPGs, it seems
The Woke War. Oh, this is Paul Tassi. Okay, Paul Tassi's the guy with the broken clock, but it's right every month. He's really boring to read. If you guys have ever checked out Forbes.
Not familiar with him.
Yeah.
I don't have a subscription.
But right out the gate, this guy's annoying me.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
every new release, a heated debate about if something is or isn't woke.
Some people just want to play as a male character, or at least have that choice.
Explicitly, and I quote the various scholars and writers who've been pushing this for years, this is explicitly the aim. It's a basis for mad.
He denied that women in games are becoming uglier. He denied that games are becoming less masculine.
Ma'am, oh God.
He denied that games are becoming more woke. What I want to talk about in this video is all of the ridiculous woke girl boss announcement in games that are coming out in 2025.
So my son Xavier is dead. Killed by the woke white virus.
Yeah. That's what ideology is.
A lot of the debate hinges on a fundamental understanding of what politics even are. And to be...
Are we gonna do the move away from everything is political to it's not political because we hold it in our grasp now. So please look away. Look to other things that we haven't taken yet, because those are political, because we don't have them yet.
Well, the example with Elon Musk has nothing to do with gaming. I don't know why you brought that up. He hasn't defined the term yet, so we're still waiting.
Because they said woke.
Why is he? They show a clip of Douglas Murray. He was a gay man.
Yeah, what was that about? I was like, oh, why is he on this? He never talked about video games.
He took a jab at the Axeman, and they showed a few seconds of Astrobot gameplay for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, like, showing the Act Man is another gay man, so I was at first like confused. Like that's his full name. When Hawk mentioned that there's a gay man on screen. There's several like homosexuals already.
Okay, all right, let's go.
To be honest, I genuinely do not think the argument understands what politics are in the first place. Given my history and how I tend to speak on certain topics, I think it might be really easy.
What do we got here?
Yeah. Oh, great. Oh, great.
How the TTRPG community became a paragon of diversity against all odds. 2 years ago, 19,000.
We're going to be told by a person whose entire personality is politics that no, there's nothing political about anything.
Yeah, so this is one of the guys that likes the changes that D&D made to orcs, I guess, and all the other things.
Yeah, let's take out the fantasy out of the role-playing and just all be for the socialism, the gay socialism.
Would George Floyd be an orc?
Yeah, I was going to say,
That's racist.
Orcs are representatory of minorities, so I want them to be removed or changed because of my own warped perspective.
I would fucking love that, like, in reality. Like, can we all remove every single brown person? Is this not the right channel?
Well.
No, Sympathetic Man is down the aisle to the right, number 6.
All right. Anyway, we know where he's coming from. We know his perspective on things so far. That's good enough.
Easy to going to give the very simple pandering answer of yes, politics do belong in your games, campaigns, etc. But to be honest, I think even that statement is just grossly simplifying what is genuinely a really interesting topic that has a lot more nuance than I or many others have.
So many adjectives just to give an empty sentence.
Like he's saying a whole lot of words, but not really saying anything of substance.
Well,
genuinely exceptional.
The idea of having politics in a game is not inherently bad. Obviously, you could do whatever you like. It depends on how it's done. For example, in Disco Elysium, there is this wonderful, weird capitalist versus socialist setting that is just told in a very entertaining, silly way because the main character is a blackout drunk and he doesn't know what the hell he did last night. So he goes on these T-rods about crazy things when he was drunk, and then his parts of his psyche pop up, and depending on how you grew him, he'll express himself. Okay. So there's the very nature of the story can make these topics entertaining, which is great. So that's different than what we're talking about when we say there's politics in games these days, though.
I think what people have got to realise, there's politics and then there's quotation marks politics. So politics is when there's actually, different ideologies in a world, there's different viewpoints, there's different, beliefs and thoughts and everything like
Baron exploiting the peasants. Oh no!
No, it's not even that. It's I'm going to say, because I'm going to soon be going on to another stream about Dragon Age. You'll have the Qunari are different to Ferelden, who are different to Orlais, because they've got different beliefs and political structures and everything like that. That's politics and how they intertwine with everything. Mm-hmm. The politics that we're on about, in the quotation marks, is every single group and peoples are modern day progressives, just transplanted into whatever setting. I always say it's the modern day California, but in whatever setting. That's quotation mark politics, which everyone's angry about, where every single thing, there is no difference in beliefs or anything like that. Everyone's woke.
Yeah, and the best example...
Everything and everyone is judged by that and turned into that.
Or the latest example is the Dragon Age game, which you can't roleplay. You're always the same tone. Your characters
Well-
are always accepting of everything you say.
Look at
Positive.
the new Dragon Age, Tevinter, which is the slave capital of Phaedus in 3 different games, has no slaves in Veilguard because it's not progressive. You know what I
And
mean?
you
So
throw
they've just
slaves, which would be a progressive thing if you don't have slaves.
well, there's no slaves there, so they've just turned everyone into the exact same thing. That's the problem with quotation marks politics, and this is what people don't understand. No one cares if there's a left-wing group as long as there's a right-wing group to oppose it. You know, like in real life. But if everyone's just left-wing, well, that's not politics. That's a political lecture. And that's the thing. If a game's making you think about different people's politics and making you go, oh, I wonder which side I'd go on. Oh, they make both sides, make compelling arguments. That's politics done well. But what we're getting is pretty much a 2-hour, or in game terms, 20-hour political lecture that you'd get at a university, and that's not politics. That's just someone boring you to death with their political ideology. That's the difference.
That is the past few years, or at least the past 10 years in gaming. I could point back to TV with, I think it was The West Wing. I don't know if that was the first political drama that people like to refer to as a political drama. And they weren't pro-Democrat or pro-Republican, because obviously it's an American setting. But they were telling stories about people in that environment and the day-to-day. So it wasn't so much about legislation or bills being passed or this and that. It was kind of like people being people that happened, and some of them happened to be politicians. So that was, I guess, a slight look into the nature of American politics in a obviously fictional world with very different style of drama because of the dialogue that Aaron Sorkin brought to the story, which was punchy and fast. And then you had those camera angles of people walking through walls or walking through halls and arguing. And it's like, oh, this is just an office that people happen to be in the White House. So you could argue that's not really political drama, but it is certainly a drama that involves politics. Anyway.
And in
Glad the dog agreed with you, Smud.
Oh, thank you.
And in Vampire the Masquerade, you also had a small group of Brucher that was its little communist cell, because Brucher always have to rebel. And they had communist insignia and paraphernalia because, well, that fits the whole thing. Because they weren't the leading communists. They were the little useful idiot communists that go out and do crime.
And this is one of the major components of role-playing, or at least in games that we're aware of, like New Vegas. They have serious levels of factions. They have their own beliefs. They have their own opposition. And they have...
That's politics.
Yeah, they have...
That's a political game.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Whether it's legislation or whether it's people vying for power or trying to get this to the table, that is normal. That's fine. So long as you represent them with some level of validity and believability, it doesn't matter what your agenda might be. You could have, the wokest guy on the writing team if he knows how to deal. And a lot of the people from New Vegas were very left-leaning, and that's great. I don't care.
Another example of politics being done well in a story is the BioShock series, where it's objectivism, collectivism, and then nationalism.
That's a libertarianism. Yeah, fantastic story. All kinds of great nuance there. Yeah.
Could you imagine? Sorry, let's go on.
No, you're so rarely here. Go on.
No, what I'm going to put is that imagine Fallout New Vegas, but every single faction's exactly the same, with the exact same belief, and that's the issue. You wouldn't be thinking, I wonder which
TV show.
The Fallout 4.
Well, even Fallout 4 has different politics in it. Like there's different stuff. But imagine like Fallout New Vegas that the NCR and Kaiser's Legion are exactly the same. There's absolutely no difference, and all of them believe in equal rights, diversity, and progressive sexualization. You'd be like, well, I don't care who wins; they're both exactly the same. And then you realise, hang on, I'm not here. I'm not living in. This isn't a real world. It's just a person's political lecture, and that's the thing. If a real world has different ideologies.
Yeah,
so
for an extremist cult, only their own can exist, and it's the only thing they can think about. So even when they make an opposing faction, it still has to abide by all of their beliefs.
Yeah, and this is
that's what I was going to say. The thing I liken it to towards leftists when complaining about that is, okay, imagine the puritanical Christians had waged a culture war and be in this position, and now all the movies, all of the video games, everything would be according to this very puritanical hyper-Christian norm. This caricature, basically.
Yeah.
You would complain, you wouldn't like that, and you would notice it everywhere because you know what it looks like.
I was going to compare that
you would recognize
to yesterday, the video we covered with the young lady who was, I don't know if she was a fundamentalist, but everything she said was so absolute in terms of her belief with God or Jesus or whatever. And it's like, it doesn't matter where they are on the spectrum. It's biased, it's absolutist, and you cannot have a conversation with these people because they already have their minds made up. And if they make media that way, doesn't matter. Again, they could be whatever woke is to them, whatever progressivism is to them, whatever religion is to them. It's just going to be in that mindset, and all the characters are going to sound the same, all the mentality, all the mannerisms. Oh, this guy's going to be an angry guy. Yeah, but he's exactly the same as the not angry guy.
Yeah, and
we can only pray for them so they can return to the real church instead of Protestantism.
Okay.
And they
fucking heretics.
Through reason and rationality, but through emotion, and you can't get them away from an argument with rationality, with reason, that they haven't reached with reason. That's the entire problem.
Right.
And they believe that they have come to it with reason.
All right.
When they have not.
I think so. We've meandered enough. Let's get back to the video.
Before I get into that topic, let me address the elephant in the room here. Yeah, this video was made in large part due to the backlash of the opening of my previous video. If you missed that one, and let's be honest, you likely did given how quickly YouTube's algorithm shot it out of the water, please feel free to click the card on the screen to see what I'm talking about, and then you can return here. Now I want to be clear, what I will not be doing...
No one's salty.
God, why?
We're fine.
Did we like that now?
That's okay.
Why would I want to watch more of this guy?
Well, whatever. He's got his own reason.
I'm not interested in the extended universe of this channel.
At least he has some context. Hey, this is based off another video. Thank you, sir. Good enough. Let's go.
I'm sure he's on our side.
In this video is staunchly defending what was said with absolutely no nuance. Because I think we took what was an incredibly complex topic and reduced it down to a 60-second clip. And I believe I, personally, as the editor of the video, was wrong to do that.
Wow. Nice. That's a good, hey guys, I screwed up. My apologies.
Yeah.
Great. Good start. Okay.
It's something.
Yeah.
This is not going to be me backtracking on the views expressed either. They were stated, they were real, they have not changed, but I think there was more to the conversation than I or my wife allowed to happen, mainly me. And that conversation deserves to be had in good faith, not an adversarial one. And as such, because I was not the one who directly said what was stated, but I did make sure to be the one to edit the video, and I decided to put it in there, I do want to give the other person behind this channel, my wife, the chance to be able to say what she wants to say in response to that. I will be giving her full breadth to say what is necessary, and I will make sure to approve with her that I've edited it in a way that she wanted to say it, and then I will be expressing my thoughts over the course of this video, not just on what was said, but also just on the entire concept of whether politics do belong in gaming in general. So that being said, without further ado, the first wife-devoted segment on this channel.
Oh no, sir, what are you doing? Do not bring the woman in the conversation. What?
How about he brings the boyfriend of the
This
wife?
is not a good idea, guys.
Yeah.
This is a train wreck waiting to happen. Okay, fine, here we go. She made a mistake, or she's going to correct herself. I don't know.
Hold on, wait, hang on, guys. Are we about to listen to a woman, apologize for something, or
no?
Say
this is a woman just saying what she thinks. Okay.
Oh God, we're going to be here all night. I'm going to get a cup of tea.
and it's political. Okay, just brace yourself.
So she's starting with in case we don't want to watch the other video.
You might want to put some brandy in that tea.
Okay.
So it all started with the 19th Amendment.
I've moved on to straight up vodka, so it's all right.
There you go.
Okay.
What vodka is it?
All right, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. She might be intelligent or smarter than him in the political realm. I don't know, but let's just give her the opportunity.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
In case you go back to the other video, I said fuck.
Oh God, no!
Oh,
Okay,
That's why
we had
women
enough.
shouldn't
We
speak.
can go home now.
But this is why women shouldn't speak.
Come
Why was
on.
it such? Why was it such the most bare basic
What do I have next to me?
How did
thing?
we get here so quickly?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh.
Right next to me, a bottle of Jameson is appeared. Where did that come from?
Okay.
I also have Bacardi,
All right.
and Bailey's.
This is nothing new.
Amazing.
Guys, so
I got
I
some
said
Jim Beam
fuck
Black.
Trump.
We've got 4 years of this.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
4 years.
4 more years.
All
I'll drink
right.
to that.
Okay. Let's start. Let's keep going.
Incredible.
And Jay edited it in a iconic way.
It was funny. I'm funny.
We're not gonna go that far. You're not
He's
the
a man,
funniest
of course
person I
he's
know.
funny.
And I have read every comment. Thanks so much, y'all. Some of y'all were not the nicest, and that's totally fair. Like, I said something that was very adversarial and also didn't, in large, have any chance for conversation about it. One topic or one, like, comment
Oh my God. Get with the program. What is your point?
that stuck out to me the most was just like, how are you any better than the people who are also saying this on the other side? You're just kind of ignoring the fact that there were good people who supported.
What is this?
Oh my God! Like, oh my God! There's bad people on both. It's the both sides argument. But oh my God! This is why. Shut
All right.
up.
Here's something.
Or not even a class war, but
A class war. What?
Oh
Did we
Lord.
jump to?
Don't skip around. Don't skip around. It's hard enough to keep track
I don't
of the
care.
woman.
Just skip. Smart. Just skip all of this. We need to go to the actual video.
Okay. Well,
Women,
let's-
it's
Is this
women's
the
opinion.
video?
It doesn't matter.
class
Go.
warfare. Okay, we're in Marxism already.
just like a class. I don't know. I can't think of the word, but it's a class problem. It's not a party problem. It's not conservatives versus liberals. This is the rich versus the poor.
What?
I'm very much so eat the rich
Oh,
mentality
God.
and
Oh,
things
God.
like that. But I'm
And
Can we
also
just skip?
Vote blue.
Hold on,
Skip.
I just like to point out, you know, all these people who say, "Oh, eat the rich," I'm against the rich. You know, the actual poor people think of them as mega rich. Like, I'm just saying, everyone who says "eat the rich" doesn't realize that you are still class. You are in the top 1% of all of humanity, just by living in a Western world.
Notice
You
it's
are
almost
the
always
rich.
notice it's almost always some upper middle class white kid who drives a expensive car and has daddy pay for their college tuition.
Well,
I just,
I'm just gonna check. Like, does this channel have a Patreon or any of those things? Like, do they have
Probably.
this for their living? Like
Alright.
that would be
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. Like they have a
Because-
D&D based YouTube channel to support themselves, and they're gonna talk about this is about the rich and the poor, like the unending
It's also hilarious
suffering.
to me that the people who go around screaming "eat the rich" like to worship rich celebrities. You don't see that as ironic?
well, if they
A lot
own
of them are
computers,
very rich themselves. Look at Bernie Sanders. He's a millionaire.
yeah. If you
Oh, and he hated
Several
millionaires
houses.
until he became a millionaire.
if you take part in capitalism and all these, and you start espousing Marxist beliefs, it's like, okay, you're in the wrong country. I'm sorry. Stop buying iPhones. Stop buying all this stuff that makes your life better. Go live in some. There's dozens of socialist countries out there.
And I mean, you can make an argument for the whole eat the rich thing, that oppress and exploit us and do the capitalist thing. But when you actually do your research, you come out at very rich people like Larry Fink, who runs BlackRock, who pushes all the socialist stuff everywhere that impoverishes us all around the globe. So that's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, they made 15% increase last year, BlackRock. So they're doing they're doing great.
Oh, the company that's pushing socialism around the world and making everybody worse off is getting richer doing that.
Yeah.
Huh.
if you were to actually talk to me, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with on the liberal side
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So anyway, nuance. There's a lot of things in life.
Life needs things to live.
What?
I grew up and have grown up in an environment where some of the extreme ideals of the Conservative Party were just kind of a natural part of my life. I'm not saying that I ever took part in it because I was able to recognize at a young age that it was wrong. But I do have a distinct memory of somebody having road rage in my family and deciding to use the N-word and like screaming.
Okay, look. Let's just pause this. She said F Trump. That is, you go straight from 0 to 100. It's the same idea using the N-word. You say this person, they do something wrong, you just immediately react. That is the knee-jerk reaction of using the N-word or F this or F that. It's normal.
Especially when there's
What is wrong about using the N-word, by the way?
Wait,
we can't get into this discussion. Mark, we can't get into this discussion.
Dude, by her logic, the road rage is a key conservative ideal. That's what she said so far.
This means that I'm sorry, but like once again, it's just this is just boring. Honestly, I've just really lost interest in everything.
The conservative natures were a part of my life, but I never took part in it because I recognized it as wrong.
Yeah, well,
like I understand conservatives, but I'm not conservative. You don't understand conservatism.
If she ever gets into a scene where she is in danger or scared or someone rips her off or steals from her, you will get emotional. You will say things you probably shouldn't say, but they're honest to you at the time. When anyone gets anything stolen or taken from them, their loved ones, their pet, their property, they will say anything because it's emotional. And they hate the thing that just happened, and they point out the thief who happens to be black or white or whatever, and they will hate that thing. That's normal. Now, in retrospect, you go, yeah, that's probably what I shouldn't have said, but it's life.
It's a heat of the moment.
It's normal to say that. It doesn't mean you are a racist or you think that person's a Nazi or whatever. You say the thing that means something emotional to you at the time. That's it. It's totally natural.
You say the worst, meanest thing you know.
And this is all throughout history. This is all throughout the world. I know people in Belgium, because Belgium has a series of different cultures, and they all hate each other. Whenever their neighbor of a different ethnicity does something they don't like, they call them a name that they use.
Belgium has enough people to have different ethnicities?
Yeah.
Well, Belgium's not even a real country, so we'll not get into that.
Okay.
I thought that's just West Netherlands.
That's part of it. Yeah, it's a lot
No,
of.
Belgium was literally created in 1815 as a buffer zone to stop the French invading Eastern Europe after the Napoleonic Wars by Britain. So we just crammed loads of people. Yeah, so we crammed loads of groups of people in, said, here's a country, that's it.
Yeah. So there's lots
of... It's a mini Balkan.
It's a lot of racism all together, and they try to get along, and it's not the greatest. But that's life. That's your neighbors. We have that everywhere. So
united in their hatred for the French and the Netherlandese.
Okay.
Hollandaise?
Sure. All right.
Because they didn't agree with it. And I feel in large part that Trump helps give voices and platforms to those types of individuals.
How?
And he doesn't discourage it. And I think that is a very harmful thing that I ultimately do.
Oh, you mean like free speech and democracy that needs to hear the arguments of other people than just your own? Which, by the way, if you forbid that makes you a fascist. The thing you claim to fight against, you know.
She thinks Trump is enabling these people. I'm like, okay, great. How? Show me.
She's the commie. She just doesn't know it.
Do not support, but this isn't to say that like there are people out there that are fully like that. I have to recognize that because there are people in my life that.
What is she? We just jumping topics.
Are not like.
What is she talking about?
It's just a vague rambling that she's not realizing that she's just vague rambling, which a lot of women do, because she's afraid to saying anything concrete because that's you get trained that you would be judged if you do that, and so she doesn't And so she expects us to mind read her, that we naturally know what she's talking about. And I'm sorry, we don't have the magic abilities from the fantasy role-playing game.
So anyway, why can't our games escape politics? Do they really belong?
Because of her. Because of wife.
Because of people like her that inject it into everything, because everything has to represent their rainbow cult behavior.
We haven't gotten that far yet to preclude she's of that ilk. But
can we just say I don't like Trump because I'm the opposite politics to him, and just skip over this woman droning on like a woman?
We can keep going. It's up to you guys.
Why? I could kill myself, but you don't see me jumping at that.
Okay.
I haven't killed myself yet either.
Do you want to keep listening to her, or do you want to get to the guy?
Suicide is never the answer. Outlive your enemies.
She's
This
only
is
on
not
for
even
another...
the guy. This is the guy's wife.
Yeah, she's only on for another minute and a half, so we can just...
Look, if he can do it, we can.
All right.
Comment stuck out to me. The one just saying, like, look to the other side. And I hope you know that I'm not just in an echo chamber. I'm very conscious of that in an effort to ensure that my world...
If you're not in an echo chamber, why did you say F Trump?
Okay.
Why?
There's two other problems here. One, her voice sounds like she's about to cry. Two, all her sentences and half sentences end with a question mark.
Yeah,
she's very insecure in her entire position. She's simply afraid to be judged negatively, so she's trying to haggle with the world. I'm nice. I'm a nice person. Please, please see me as a nice person.
Yeah, like when I say F Trudeau, that's an actual flag we've created, and we have dozens and dozens of reasons why Trudeau has ruined Canada. And unless you are objectively looking at the facts of like all the scandals and all the money printing and all the money wasting and all the rich parties, and it's like, yeah, this is not what we elected you to do. So,
in Germany, you now get jailed for saying this about the left politicians.
Oh, Germany's another ball of wax, I know.
And in the UK.
German politicians have had terrible ideas since the 1930s.
1930s?
Good lord!
You're starting a little late in history.
Okay, anyway. Let's not
There was
bring
this
that.
whole Weimar thing, if you've heard about it.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
Yeah, there is that.
All right.
That was, 1920s?
Anyway, let's keep going.
Worldview and what I'm ingesting on a day-to-day is supporting and just loving humanity as a whole rather
Okay, this is like
She's doing esoteric hippie crap.
Move forward. I can't.
Dance your name.
Anybody who
Dance your name
ends
every day. Wonderful.
Anybody who ends a word with ing with a K, saying I'm just loving, I'm like, no, I'm not interested in hearing from you. It's an annoying thing. Move on.
She's loving humanity every day.
This is the virtue signaling.
Hawk is like, if you haven't passed your spelling test, then get out of my sight.
No, I'm not interested. I'm a 30-year-old man with a wife and kid. I do not have time to listen to a woman. And that's it.
Period. There's no other context.
No, there's nothing else to it. I just don't have time. Move on.
Oh god.
Skip.
not. And I'm not a public speaker. Just that's Jay's thing.
We can tell.
If you know me in real life, and like if you're a part of my life, I cook you meals, I do things for you, take care of your animals, like I show up for you, and that's my thing. I'm never good with words, and that's never something I'll claim to do.
I'm never good with words. Shut the fuck up, man. Stop using them.
What is she even talking about?
I will believe her that she's a good housewife. I will believe her
Yes,
that. But
yes.
please stay away from the voting box.
Just, all she had to say was, "Oh, I said fuck Trump." I shouldn't really have used it. It's inflammatory language. I should have thought more carefully about that. Sorry. And we've ended this 5 minutes ago. We're now on about doing well for humanity and looking after your pets, and there's just no reason to this.
This is worse than
I'm such a good person. I'm totally a good person.
This is worse than a husband gushing about his wife or vice versa. She's like gushing about herself. You're like, okay, honey, we get it.
Okay, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She might be a really lovely person.
Yes.
Okay, but I am a couple of 100,000 miles away. I do not care. I want to see why games shouldn't have politics in it. That's what we're talking about. I don't care about the fact that you had a family member one time in 1978 yell the N-word because he was in a car accident. It doesn't matter to me.
The oppression. Oh no.
Okay.
The great thing is, I can't
It means nothing.
To be. She said this thing from her safe position from behind her husband, the fuck Trump, and got all the negative comments on the video, and got really crying about it, and really sad and whining, and then her husband said, "Okay, honey, okay, tell the world how you really feel, that you're super nuanced. I'll let you have the video. You can have a video on my channel where you can talk it all out, and they'll see you're a good person, honey."
Yeah.
And then he did it.
You know, if Mrs. Hawk said something stupid online, right, and then wanted to apologise, my response was, "Lol, get good, scrub," and then that'd be it.
All right.
I'd be like, "That's tough."
Let us continue.
Please, only give me good comments online. Don't give me negative comments. I'm a good person.
Here's the thread nod for the 5. Thank you, sir. Commies can't understand that politics are okay in games as far as they fit. When they go against verisimilitude, that's when they don't belong. And this is the general argument for anything. If it's pushed in the story, if it's ham-fisted, if it's forced, that is where the problem lies. And we reverse, we deduce, we say, why did this happen? Oh, we got a person on a soapbox, and they just wanted to keep saying their thing on the soapbox. And it doesn't matter if it's woke, it doesn't matter if it's religious, it doesn't matter if it's anything else. It does not belong. That's the general argument that we respond to when we see stuff like this. But in this case, yeah, I don't know what she's talking about now. She's just going on and on about her personal life. Anyway, another 30 seconds, she's done. Let's keep going.
But anyway, I'm sorry for being harsh. I still hold the sentiment that if you blindly follow Trump and also don't understand how people can feel harmed by your actions.
Okay, here's your problem, woman. You believe that other people follow Trump blindly.
Yeah. And think of the actions of supporting Trump. What can you do to support Trump aside from vote from him, and then donate to his campaign? Nothing. That's it. You're done.
Can I just point one simple thing out?
Go ahead.
She started this conversation about saying "fuck Trump," and she's gone this long-winded rant. No, not rant, but ramble, and has literally come back to the still fuck Trump.
Yeah.
So we've just wasted all that time. She could have just said, "Yeah, fuck Trump." The reason I said it is because I'm on the opposite political spectrum, and that's it. We've just gone on this ramble.
Understand, like, she didn't mean it like that, but it's.
But she does mean it like that.
She does mean it like that. Yeah.
And if you support him, you're really hurting other people. I'm like, how, where, when?
I'm gonna cook you. I'm gonna cook food for you and care for your animals. But
it's like, but the thing is, it's like people have said "fuck Trump" now for what, nearly a decade. It means nothing. Just because you got some comments from people saying, "Oh, we don't like you saying it," you don't have to go out and do this ramble. We all know why you said it. It's like, we know why you said it. You don't like the guy. Okay, that's fine. Great, wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's move on and actually talk about what this video is meant to,
The funny thing is, though, her last sentence is saying you should not blindly follow. It's like, that's exactly what you've done, only in the opposite direction with your whatever. I don't know, you voted for Harris or who knows what you did.
She's probably not even aware that the last 4 years the White House was officially led by a very, very racist N-word slinging PDF file.
Yeah.
Who has dementia?
Well, that's a secondary
And he went from sniffing kids to biting babies' feet or something. I can't remember what happened the last year.
There's so many things. Like, we should have a bingo card just in those last couple of days.
Pardoning thousands of people in one day. Like, how do you physically do that? I don't even know.
Especially some of the people he pardoned should have been getting God's sleeping needle.
Yeah, well.
You see the latest thing you did about trying to say there's a 28th Amendment, just putting it on Twitter?
Yeah, and the community knows like that's not how the Constitution works.
That's not you can't actually do that.
The president
They were
just
trying
doesn't
to
decide what
psyop
is
the
and isn't
thing
an
into
amendment.
existence. I really can't believe they did.
I'll be honest with you.
Magic it into existence.
It's one of the few times I've actually seen people on both the left and the right go, yeah, you can't actually do this. And someone actually put, dear intern running his account, you do not have that power.
But that's not how the Constitution works. You can propose amendments, but you don't just will them in and out as you please.
Hey, it worked for Warhammer 40k and female custodies. They were just magicked into existence by a Twitter not an idiot.
All right. Well,
they backtracked on that, by the way.
Let's hopefully get the conversation back in the world of gaming. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Of supporting him, that you're not in the right space. I
Really?
do think that he's a really harmful person.
How?
And if you can't
Question mark?
understand that, then I again just don't feel like this is the right space for you to share in that view and want to continue to hang out with us. Hope that makes sense.
Wow. How about
No,
this?
Was it the right space for you to
because you
say
said
fuck Trump in
nothing.
the first place?
Yeah. How about this?
Woman, you have to give a why.
Yeah.
What is your reasoning?
You literally had no logic to what you just said. You just said, I don't like him, and if you like him, I don't like you. That's exactly what it came down to. So
that is what if outside the race attribute, this is the mechanics of that. This is the mechanics of what is beneath racism.
she did not defend herself. She did not explain herself. She just says, I said a thing, and this is what it means. I don't like you guys. That's it. That's how inclusive.
I don't like you guys, but can you be nice to me?
How wonderfully open she is with her thoughts and affectations to other people, except she's not.
No.
Everybody
There
who
you go. Hopefully
disagrees,
Jay
please
edits
go
this really
away.
beautifully and makes me look cooler than I am. Sorry. I'm a really bad public speaker.
So
No, you're a really
women
bad
shouldn't
person, and you're really bad explaining yourself. If you just said, I don't like Trump because of X, Y, Z, we'd be good. Thank you. We would say that's silly or smart, but at least we have a reason. All you said was, I don't like him. People who like him are bad, and if you want to hang out with me, you can't.
Yeah, but she said, people who like him are bad because years and years ago, a member of my family had road rage and used the N-word. I'm like, how's that?
He enables that
Line up.
somehow. Yeah, we don't know exactly how.
Okay.
I fail to feel bad in any way for making fun of her because she just admitted to have nothing between her ears.
Okay.
Nothing. Not even something that.
Seriously, you can't even, like you say, she's not a public speaker. Thank God there'd be people fucking swinging from the rafters if there were. And she probably just doesn't understand how to explain herself beyond the basics of I just don't like people who disagree with me. And yeah, if you said that, that's fine. I get that. But we rambled for 6 minutes.
Yeah, this is what I mean. This is a perfect example of what I mean with emotionally immature women. Don't say anything when they speak. They just make emotional noises in order to get an emotional reaction. It's just an exchange of emotions. Because all she said was.
All right. Okay. Let's keep going. Here's the thread knot for another 5. Thank you, sir. Hawk transmitting from the People's Democratic Socialist Republic of England. Don't tell Chairman Stalin, our dear leader, we don't want the comps.
This struggle is real.
Okay. That's a strange joke.
Yeah, we really are the People's Democratic Socialist Republic of democracy.
Wow.
As I keep getting told.
Okay.
by the commissars.
It is not Chairman Stalin. It is dear
Chairman
Starmer.
Starmer. Yeah, Starmer.
Yeah, dear Starmer.
Okay. All right. Well, we're at 7-minute mark, and the wife is gone, thankfully. So, back on topic.
On to the video. Hooray!
Thank you, wife. 2, actually, some of the things that you just said made me feel the need to clarify something.
No.
I forget that it's been a very long.
Really? Clarify
7
something.
minutes.
Why would you think that? That was perfectly clear to me.
Oh, boy.
Are we gonna get like after he's done his little bit of a segment, there's another person going, I agree with that, but there's some things I should clarify about what was said in the previous section. Like some sort of Monty Python sketch.
So what my wife meant to say was
something completely different.
Despite what my wife said, I love Trump.
Yeehaw! Okay, here we go.
Time since I've talked about myself
I
and
love
my past
Trump.
history on this channel. So, in order to give context of who I am, very briefly, I just want to make it clear. I was raised in a
barn.
Did the priest
didn't eat for 16 years.
I was a virgin birth.
Fucking, what was it like Abraham Lincoln? Like,
Four score in 1930s years ago. Okay.
7 years ago.
Was to a pastor's kid as I could be without actually being a pastor's kid. I was raised in the conservative faith.
Dude, you can't just make my joke worse. It's like it's a really
so he's a Protestant.
Look, it's a really tasteless joke, and you then say you were the closest to a pastor's kid you could ever be. You know what that means over here? My God.
Don't answer that.
I cannot believe that the simple phrase of "fuck Trump" has led to two people giving us an entire life story about how they were raised to explain why they said "fuck Trump" beyond the easy answer of "I don't believe in his politics."
Oh, this is
so what the one who fucked up with him is fuck Trump.
No offense to this guy. He might make some great points later on, but I do not need to know about his life story to explain why his wife said "fuck Trump" in a video.
There's no Trump. I don't care.
But her uncle, her patriarchy man, had road rage.
Okay, that's all we get. That's all we understand.
Oh God.
It's got to be a wonderful year. It's the best year, the greatest year.
Okay, here we go.
There's 30 minutes of this.
It's like, I've been there. I have experienced it, and no, I do not think it is all hateful. But the stance that I have today and the person who I am today is informed by that in many parts. The opinions that I have is because I have seen the people who hold the opinions on the other side. And I think it's important for me to state that and to make it clear that I understand and I have been there and I get it, and I have believed those things in the past. I have made apologies on this channel for once holding harmful beliefs and being, in my opinion, not the greatest person. I have since grown from that, and I understand where
Is there fucking dramatic music behind this?
Did you hear that? Yeah. I was like, what is happening right now?
You know something? Just talk about video games.
Are we going to have the tear falling down his cheek, a little glint on his?
I want the sad violin song.
Are we going to get
Zoom as it's zeroing in on him to really sell the story he's telling?
Is it going to be like
the sad violin music?
All right.
I'm just imagining like an upside down American flag flying behind him when he's talking about the horrors of being raised in a Christian family, and I'm just like, okay.
I know what you're going through, guys.
I was
having
born
a
white.
father in a stable household.
I regret not having I regret not having a clean rip of the damn smallest violin.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Look,
Here is.
I'm close to telling this person. Yes, I too went to Sunday school when I was 5. It's broken me.
All right. Here is Mr. Nick Gurr. Thank you, Nick Gurr.
Okay.
He looks like somebody
never gets old.
shrunk his face in Photoshop. Also, I thought he was going to say, just to clarify, I usually don't let her speak or leave the kitchen. And what she just said is a great example why. That woman is why we need to repeal the 19th. Okay. I don't think it's that big a deal, but they just need some restraint on their
The
video
19th
production.
was a big deal.
You can tell that they're made for each other, can't you? And I'm really glad they found each other to get married and everything.
Yeah.
Well done. Just shut the fuck up and get on with the video.
Okay. All right.
This is exactly the reason why we want the political cult shit out of everything.
Yeah.
You make the point yourself.
All right. 8 minutes in.
people there's room to learn. It shouldn't be difficult to learn how to love other people. But with that being said, let's jump into the rest of the video.
No. Narcissists and psychopaths can't, and borderliners, they can't learn it. They can't. They just can't. Just
it's
so
fine.
you know, there's evil people out there. Real evil people.
Like I said, I don't think these people are bad people. I just think that they're very boring.
They didn't get past high school essay writing, I think. I don't know. There's no logic flow to what they're trying to say.
I mean, just from this, as well as his wife, they come across as very naive and ignorant people who really want to do good things and believe in good things, and that's why they're so easily roped in by the socialist cult, because that pretends to be good while it is rotten at the core.
This is the left-leaning mentality of I want to do well. I don't know how, but if I'm with these people who also feel the same as I, we're going to get somewhere. And it's like, yeah, that's the road to hell. We've seen that time and again, even in Canada recently. So you can't just have good intentions. You have to know what you want to do and how to achieve it, and then you figure out how that works so you don't waste your time. And this is all virtue signaling about...
Don't fall for snake oil salesmen who tell you, oh, if you listen to me, then you'll be a really good person.
Like you could,
what I tell you.
You could dislike Trump for all kinds of reasons, but give me a reason why his policies haven't worked 8 years ago, because they nearly doubled everyone's 401k. In case you weren't aware. Like, that's a really big thing for people retiring and people getting into investing and saving for the future. That is one of the most important things, in fact. And, Trump is talking about being energy independent. Well, technically, he's still dependent on Canadian oil. Most of the oil from America comes from Canada, whether they like it or not. But I'd love to see America compete with Canada for oil. Why not?
I hope he undoes all of Biden's drilling bans.
Oh, yeah. Getting some licenses and all kinds of permits. That'd be great for Canada. That'd be great for the world. So we need
finish that Keystone pipeline.
Yeah, so whatever is, like, people judge Trump on his personal life and his rhetoric. I get it. He said some crazy shit the past month about turning Canada in the 51st state. That's stupid. That's never going to happen. But that's his style.
Be real here. I don't want the people who elected Trudeau to be voting in my elections.
That's a very good point.
They don't judge their own like that by the same standards. Trudeau, if judged by the left standards, Trudeau would never be in any position. He broke every taboo. Biden broke every taboo the left holds today.
Yeah. So
yes, Greenland will be a better 51st state.
Maybe
Harris broke every taboo the left holds today. Well, she was happy to have jailed people for weed while doing weed herself.
Well, either way,
keep them past their sentencing to use them as prison labor.
It's called slavery.
You can dislike Trump for whatever reason.
The government's allowed to enslave people.
Just explain why, so we know your position. Don't give me this wishy-washy nonsense of my uncle said something bad, and I think this guy enables this person to say something bad. Like, that is nonsensical. Anyway.
Yep. Well, they're really showing why politics shouldn't be in video games.
There's a lot to talk about, and not just about me or my wife, but also this topic, which I do genuinely find actually interesting. So first, let's define politics. At its core, politics refers to the activities associated with governments. If you were to look up the literal dictionary definition of political, you would get the following: of relating to government, a government, or the con.
Why are you using a Triforce here?
Yeah. Power
and Zigrun, the loyal in the chat, apologizing to the cult never helps. You will always be on the lowest position forever. Just walk away. But I bet you know that was probably sarcasm. So good on you, Zigrun.
There's also the fact that politics can also be more nuanced, because while not on a government level, you can have political shit in your workplace of the higher ups pushing down on you.
Well, workplace politics, office politics, it doesn't need to be government. It's just different groups against groups.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's heard of the phrase schoolyard politics.
It's a little more nuanced than just governing bodies, and I'm still confused as to why you're using a Triforce.
All right.
He'll probably explain it in another video that we'll have to watch.
Oh,
I still have to
God.
get over the fact that the courage is on the right side. I always thought it was on the left.
All right.
I don't know why.
Anyway.
Because fuck
Conduct
Donald
of
Trump is
government.
3 words, so
Conduct
like
of
fuck
government.
Donald Trump.
Or, for
all
another
Triforce
definition,
things.
of relating to or concerned with them.
Why did you zoom in? What is it? What is happening?
This is
Triforce of
Ganondorf.
power. I guess it's relating to power, political
Yeah, but
power.
he
I
doesn't
don't know.
understand. Yeah, and he doesn't understand that Zelda as wisdom represents the present, which is the old kingdom that remains. Zelda is the conservative art element in this.
Making as distinguished from the administration of governmental policy. So, if politics are relating to government or the conduct of said government, what is the definition of government? Well, government is the governing body of a nation, state, or community. Again, textbook definition. So, to be political is to be about how people organize societies, distribute resources, and make decisions that affect community.
Again, there's a little more nuance to it than that.
No. To organize community and resources is exactly what the left is doing by having infiltrated every industry, every institution. Because now they distribute, they have taken out the resources that we want to get out of it in the first place, which is escapism and art, and have replaced it with ideological garbage, with propaganda, and we don't want that resource.
What was it? Veilguard was the last Dragon Age game. That train wreck. That's a perfect example of that.
Much of what you're on about.
Whip's talking about the left's infiltration of gaming and media and fucking
I'm
everything.
making a joke about Dragon Age of Veilguard. Just keep going.
Curry and Bush is
Yeah,
filming. It's okay.
let's not
It's
start
okay.
up on that again.
All right.
Right? But the word politics is hijacked to mean something entirely else. Somewhere along the way, we started calling things like gender, race, and even basic human rights political. And that's not just inaccurate.
Human rights are political.
Yeah.
What do you think race socialism is?
Okay, no, hold on. Let's actually get to the bottom of this. Right. Without any overarching government, what are your human rights? In nature, what are your human rights without any society or government around you? Absolutely nothing. You only have human rights because a government has declared that certain things are human rights. So human rights are political.
Does he mean natural law, or does he mean like a state law?
But what's natural law? What is natural law?
As defined by a society, exactly.
Yes, it's defined by society. So yeah,
the natural law is eat or be eaten.
It's not. That's not even. That's just nature. There's no law about it.
Believe it or not,
You don't see a lion getting arrested because he ate a wildebeest on a Tuesday.
No.
Okay, it's a description.
I know, I'm joking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we very rarely have lawyers talk about natural law because it's outside of their purview, and it's like, okay, why did this person kill this other person? Because eye for an eye or whatever. So, and they justify it through their own defensive actions, etc. So,
Who made gender a political topic?
Yeah,
that's been only the left. And they've been going on about it so hard that we want to be rid of it. There's another of these rainbow pedo flags hanging at the art university here. And it's just this. If I lived in one of the buildings surrounding it, I would take a friggin' laser and laser it the hell down. Because I am offended by that. Would that be a political act? Would that be an act of terrorism? Would that be art? Performance art? I don't know, but it would be something. And the left would surely say that that's political because that is one opinion standing against another. And, well, who is it that kept saying that everything is political, that the private is political? Who is it that said that all the time? Who corrupted that? It wasn't Donald Trump. That much I'm gonna help you.
It's in the early life section of Wikipedia.
Okay, you guys can figure that out for yourselves. Anyway.
It's manipulative. Now, don't get me wrong, it is the nature of human language to evolve and change the meaning of certain words over time. For example, the word awful once meant full of awe or inspiring wonder, but over centuries it shifted.
Why does he have this image? This is confusing to me.
That's a little weird. And again,
I don't think he understands what he's. Maybe he went about an explanation in a previous video and he's using it for reference here, which doesn't help us at all. Because I don't think he understands the Triforce properly.
To mean something negative and unpleasant due to a misunderstanding in the way it was used, to the point where that just became its understood meaning. However, for a term like politics, political, or politician to change its meaning would inherently rely on what it is referring to, aka relating to the conduct of government, also changing meaning. And as far as I'm aware, the word government still means government. So let's be real. The word political as it's used as a hot button topic in today's day and age is just misusing what the word actually means.
Oh my god.
Because after all,
is he arguing semantics with himself now? Like, what is?
I guess.
No. This is the left. The left moved from everything is political to the things that we have achieved are not political, so don't bring them up so that they can't be changed back.
Mark, you want to go now?
We are in that. We are in
I
the
had enough
solidification
of
phase.
I would not feel any remorse if you have to leave, sir, because this is really.
To the term
maybe next time we
political
can
than
talk
just
about the C
governing
language.
bodies.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
C base.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like we've
Have a
already been
good
over
evening.
See you, Mark.
the more we've already been over the fact that politics is more nuanced than just governing bodies.
Man.
Yeah, he's using this very generic word and with multiple definitions, and he's just losing himself in what he's trying to say. It's like, just
As I said, there are a lot of lefties doing this right now, and this is the solidification phase of the culture war.
like
Where they now go into all the things we achieved, they're not political anymore, and we forbid you to see it as political so that you cannot challenge them.
like all you have to do is write a script out and have this paragraph of his definition of the word, and then reread it if it makes any sense. You're going somewhere with this, because I can't see where this is headed.
Oh, I know exactly where this is headed. I 100% guarantee you that he'll say, in reality, there's nothing really political happening. It's just people's opinions.
Oh yeah,
And then that's going to be it.
everything's
And we're gonna sat here for half an hour, and we're going to be like, well, that was a waste of time.
that was my subjective take on things. It's like, that's it? Really?
Yeah. But it's just my opinion.
Yeah, here we go.
It's only a theory, a game theory.
Oh my god.
Well, at least he showed the Triforce. He's trying to get back to the topic, I guess.
Is it?
Yeah.
I hope so.
exist isn't political. The idea that people deserve access to healthcare and the ability to live.
Wait. Did he just say the stupid line? The stupidest straw man of all time?
People deserve
that women
access to
exists is
healthcare.
political? No.
But in topic day and age is just misusing what the word actually means. Because after all,
Wait. You went through all this mumbo jumbo. He's like, no. There is a real definition. Okay, great. Let's get to it.
the fact that women exist isn't political. The idea that people.
The fact that woman exists is political.
What?
Nobody ever said that. That's a straw man made up by the left.
Yeah.
Useful nincompoop.
People deserve access to healthcare and the ability to live as their authentic selves. Not inherently political.
Yes. The
Human
way
traits.
that you talk about it, yes.
What if?
No, stop.
Access healthcare to live as their authentic selves. That doesn't even make any sense.
What if your tribe has no concept of medicine or very poor medicine? Technically, they could have access to the shaman of the tribe. That doesn't mean it's going to save them or keep them healthy. Like what?
Access
My
to
authentic self
healthcare
is
is
a basket
political.
case. Please amputate all my limbs.
No, but access to healthcare is a political thing.
Yeah, but
because well, wait, go on, Smudge, because I'm just
Even in Canada, we have access to healthcare whenever we get on the waiting list to allow ourselves access to healthcare. So by that time, we're dead or we're already infected. So
By that time, you get suggested to use certain services that help you across the other side.
It's called the airport. Yeah, we go elsewhere. So
yeah, but think about this, right? So say if you make a community and you've got no doctors whatsoever, what's your right to access healthcare?
Yeah, especially when your country is kicking them out or not allowing them to flourish.
What happens if like the government makes it illegal to access healthcare? What then? What happens? Do you say healthcare is not political anymore?
The first thing is so he wants things for free in healthcare in this case, and he wants it for absolutely everyone without question, meaning people who are not of his country should get his healthcare that he worked for because that's his taxes or his healthcare fees.
Yeah, see that's the thing. It's not free healthcare though, is it?
And that is his work time, and work time is lifetime. You have to always remember that. That means you spend your lifetime so that these people who come to your country go into your systems and take stuff out of it. You are thus living, you are working for them. You are their wage slaves. That is number one. Number two is how we organize the healthcare system. That is a very political question. First, do we want one? And then how do we want it? How do we finance it? Who gets what? And then what does count into it? Do luxury cosmetic surgery things count into it? Is that healthcare? Because the woman with a C cup wants a D cup? Is that because she wants to live as her most authentic self? And is it authentic to put that into put plastic into your testicles?
Yeah, but also it's a bit like as well, who decides what is healthcare? There's got to be boards and meetings and discussions about what is classed as up-to-date modern healthcare, and that's political and stuff.
And that brings us to very philosophical questions. And politics should be downstream from philosophy and not the other way around. And he does not sound, nor his wife even less, sound like he has any philosophical literacy. Since people like
their entire philosophy is, I think the world should be everyone skipping in a meadow singing Kumbaya, and why just can't we just do that?
Gives me that for free. Also, resources are limited, therefore we should turn off all the nuclear power plants.
Mm-hmm. No, it's just simple.
Have limitless stuffs.
It's just these people. You got to think to the bare basics of. It's what the hippy dippies were saying in the '60s, where everyone just lives in a mud hut and braids like brooches in summer and sings guitar and teaches poetry in the fields.
There's a whole continent full of mud huts where they sing and dance and eat bugs.
But that's it.
You can go there if you like that lifestyle.
But that's what it all boils down to. That's why they always talk about loving each other. They're just hippies. That's it. It's just hippies.
No, they're worse. They're rich hippies.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Human political positions. They relate to the concept of specific groups of humans and their standards of living, not the general populace of a state, nation, or community.
No, that's what they want. The specific populace of a state or nation, which is our nation. I would like that our healthcare system and social care system cares about the people of our nation. Currently, it cares a lot more about everybody else on the planet and not us.
No, hold on.
For every country in the West right now.
Hold on. He just said these are things that are specific to a group of people, not to like a community. So that is a community.
Mm-hmm.
So wait. So his argument. What?
Don't worry about it.
No. But like he just contradicted himself in the same sentence, while also like shouting and getting angry about how the rights of a small group of people are not political because it doesn't involve a group of people.
Oh, you spotted a double think.
sort of tune that out, and I'm not going to rewind. So we're going to keep going.
No, I'm just saying. If his argument is, if a group of people want a certain thing, they should have it, and it's not political because it doesn't involve a group of people. It's like you don't know what a community is. You don't. Oh, he doesn't know what words mean. No, of course. How silly of me. You picked a dictionary at once to find the word political.
I want to get to the topic, and he's taking a very long, winding route to get there for some reason.
I want to see the
We've been going for 10 minutes, and he still hasn't got to the point.
Yeah.
So why are they treated that way? Well, because some individuals and organizations want them to be. Turning basic human rights into political debates stirs up division. It creates...
You know what the human rights came from?
How are we meant to decide what is a human right without discussion? One person will think it is a human right, another person doesn't think it is a human right.
We have a human rights charter that defines a set of human rights that definitely are human rights. And they were written for a very political reason, namely the crimes of a certain regime of very deranged Germans for 12 years. And pretty much every socialist country, including current-day China, is in violation of all of them. And is that political? Is that an issue? Do you have a problem with that, Mr. Oh God, I just hate this hairstyle. I want to insult the hairstyle.
Yeah, this is common history. It was the Universal Human Rights Declaration, the UN Charter. I think even the Canadian Bill of Rights was also written at the same time. So after World War II. So,
our Constitution in Article 1 points directly at the Human Rights Charter, just saying.
Yeah.
I think that's quite political.
Yeah, so...
Even all the way back to the Magna Carta in the 12th century had things about rights. Yeah. And it was political because they forced the king to sign it, which helped create Parliament, which is our base of politics. So, no, discussions about human rights they are political. Just because you want kids to have their penises cut off, most likely, doesn't mean that things don't have to be. I can't believe we're arguing this whole thing of just. Yeah. I've not seen a video game.
Very powerful people on the planet right now actively fighting and undermining the Human Rights Charter, and a lot of them are on the left.
Yeah,
I was promised. Video games. I was promised video games. We've gone a third of the way through this video.
He really had to Triforce again for some reason.
All right.
But what completely fries my brain here is that oh God, I think he fried it completely.
For some reason, there's a Minecraft frog with its cock out.
That's an I. That's a sound.
I know. I'm just saying it's positioned weird. It looks funny. I was trying to make.
Of course, you see cocks everywhere.
I was trying to make a joke out of it. Why would you put it there?
So far with this video.
Yeah.
So far, this video is communism, a woman rambling, and a thing that looks like a cock.
And he is the one who is so privileged that he believes all these hard for, with blood paid for, rights are not political.
All right. Okay. Let's.
That's just how the world is and should ever be and has always been. He's insane.
Let's hopefully get to a concise definition, because I am lost, and I think he is also getting lost as he continues to talk.
He led astray by his wife.
And for those chasing power, it's a convenient use, like how resources are distributed or how decisions are made at the highest levels. Politics in its pure.
Well, then ask Larry Fink and Klaus Schwab about that, or the Rothschilds, or the Habsburgs. They are still pulling some strings.
That's an economic argument, not a political one. You could argue that both are intertwined, but not necessarily. So anyway.
Politics in its purest sense isn't about creating division. It's about coming together to make life better for everyone.
What?
Not just.
That's literally not
divide and conquer.
So countries aren't
necessarily
aren't real. We don't divide each other into countries.
Are we?
Politics is not about division. He has never heard of divide and conquer as a strategy.
Politics isn't about division. You literally vote for two separate parties in America.
Well, technically, there's more parties than just the Republicans or Democrats.
No,
It's just the other parties
no,
are not given any proper chance.
No. What I'm saying is, it's not about division. Okay, but you vote for two separate parties. There's gonna be division.
Yeah.
That's what I'm meaning. The fact that there's even more than one party means there's division.
Well, what he should
But one party also means dictatorship.
What he should have
and then there's
started.
no division.
Since he's super deep in the left, this is what shows us that he's super deep in the left, because if he truly believes that politics only means everybody coming together and therefore uniting, that means that he believes that only what unites is politics, everything else is bad, and therefore his side is the one that everybody should be under and agree with, which is fascism, by the way. So there should only be his side and his party is always right. Please follow the dear leader.
Well, he has to get to the argument of property rights and ownership and why we have the law, why we have legislation, what that means. He's sort of dancing around like he's looking at the forest. Here's the definition of a forest. There's a tree over there, and a tree. It's like, that's great. What does this all mean? Where you?
The dear leader perfectly knows whom to give your property.
Yeah. Well, why do we have these rules in place? What are some fundamental things that are laws and rights and freedoms? Those sorts of things. Just go through the basics, and then be like, yes, thank you. We know what that means. We know what politics are. What does this have to do with anything?
I mean, I question what dictionary he used to describe politics, because, like we've already mentioned, that there's a lot more nuance to politics than just governing bodies.
Yeah, you could have all kinds of negative forms of politics, like division, and that's one of the elements of despotism. So, great. There's numbers and flavors for all kinds of politics. What is the point? Is what I want to know.
You know when a politician creates a new law, does that not make division when people break it?
Yeah.
You get what I mean? There's division there. Are you trying to say, that's not political then, making laws?
Yeah, you either have a framework of ethics to protect everyone under something called the law, or you have chaos. You have a bunch of marauders running around in your city. So
the slaves should never have rebelled because that creates
division. Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow. Rosa Parks should never have sat on that damn bus because it made division.
All right.
So that's a story that she actually didn't, that it was all made up.
Okay, let's not go there.
Oh, okay. We're not going into that.
Group of people. But when those in power reframe basic humanity as a political question, it's no wonder people start to feel alienated. Now, I do want to be super clear. I am talking about this not because I want to preach to those I consider to be on the wrong side. I'm stating it because I truly believe it is an issue that is genuinely disrupting, everyone.
Then
what?
Then why are you
what
preaching
exactly?
to us?
I think it's incredibly easy to look at someone and the decisions that they make and see that we disagree with it, and therefore assume they're only that, the sum of their bad decisions we disagree with. But
Why do I believe that in this shot that the man is talking sense?
No, I know. I have a feeling I can't believe that liberal man is shouting at that conservative woman.
Oh. All right.
Are they arguing over the pen for the livestock? Is it like who's gonna shovel the shit?
I don't want to lecture to people for having the wrong opinions, but I'm going to lecture people for having the wrong opinions.
I know it's stock footage, but I'm like, where does this fit in anything?
Two privileged people complaining about oppression.
People arguing, presumably?
Wearing
This feels like two people arguing over what llama food they're given.
they're not doing any manual labor behind that fence.
These are not llamas.
We get lunch later.
No, it's like this. I'm telling you, these are alpacas, not llamas. We can't sell the fur.
I don't have a license.
Listen to me.
There's a completely different industry norm regulation for
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh man, I've really got to lay off the vodka. This has really hit me hard.
People are nuanced. People are interesting. People are more than just the individual parts or even the sum of them. People are...
What?
Oh my god, this is a political lecture.
People are more than their organs and more than the sum of their organs. It's like, what? What are they?
Oh my god, yeah, I know. I'm not all my liver. Fuck's sake, yeah.
You're not just your lungs.
Complex machine.
And you are more than all your parts. It's like, okay, so which one is it?
People are the entire anthill?
And the
Is
grain.
that it?
I don't know what that means. It's like you're saying they're not the extreme and they're not the other extreme. You're like, then what are they? What are we talking about?
Man, if ever he levels up, he'll look back and think, "Oh my God, was I stupid?"
I mean, there might be some logic there. I don't know where he's going.
Well, he didn't finish a sentence because you're so flabbergasted by his display.
You either are.
Let's let him talk. Let's let him talk for at least 5 minutes.
There's something in my brain to latch onto. I'm like, what is that? Wait, what? Stop. Okay.
The most thing we will ever attempt to and fail to understand. And to be honest, one of the...
No, it's a species, and it's a pretty funny one if you think about it. And there's
Whisp,
several levels of layers of development existing at the same time. And that's why you can't govern them all the same, which is a bit frustrating. But maybe you ought to think about that not all peoples, not all tribes are the same. They're not all made for the same one monoculture that socialism wants to put on them. They're not all made for the same types of work or lifestyles. They all have their little individual niches that they adapted to and grew into, and maybe that weird backwards jungle tribe that throws spears at drones should just be left alone and not be brought into the modern day. Like those Aborigines in Australia, that maybe we should have just put a very big fence around, because lo and behold, you better never look at an Aboriginal skull and guess where on the chart it belongs.
Well, he did quote.
Because if you did, you'd feel really bad.
All right. Well,
Whisp, they did build a big fence around the Aborigines. That's
anyway.
There's a movie about that.
Anyway,
it doesn't end very well.
Australia is not a fence in itself.
What?
Stop it. It was a penal colony.
No. They actually did build fences to stop the Aborigines. There's that movie. Was it called Rabbit Proof Fence?
I think
which
so.
is actually about it. Yeah.
All right.
One of the main things you shouldn't let Aborigines get near is alcohol, because they're even worse than the Native Americans for being alcoholics. So that's interesting. Anyway,
right.
Friends?
Well, okay, but let's get back on topic.
Oh, what was the title?
It's called Rabbit Proof Fence. That's the title of the movie.
Anyway.
It's about I think it's an American woman walking the Aborigine fence to get to the embassy.
It would have helped me if you wouldn't talk over Hawk, so that I can actually understand what he mumbles in his vodka mouth.
Don't worry. Let's just keep going with the video. This is so rambling already.
Maybe if I get some whiskey, I can understand Hawk better. So let's do that.
Can we get to 15 minutes? Because then we can at least officially say that there's half a video about video games never had a video game in it.
There we go. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Here's a super chat from Threadnought. What do you got for me? Just saying, Hawk sure brings up communism a lot. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time, especially when I listen to communists.
Yeah, thank you for your apology, Hawk. I accept it graciously.
Okay, let's continue.
The most common on the previous video that I saw that got me starting this whole script was this. There was no need for me to cause unnecessary division. You know what? That's a fair point. The other most common comment I saw, besides calling my wife based, was one saying, please don't put politics into my dice games. I come here to get away from that. Let me address that. Here's the deal, friends. I didn't put politics into these games. And it is exactly that type of stance and viewpoint that I believe causes just as much unnecessary division. Because here's a hard truth. There is no such thing as a story without politics, and no.
Oh, there it is.
There is.
Why did you put what? Tell me about the bloody wheelchair. Tell me about the tiefling rogue in a magical wheelchair. The thief in a wheelchair. That's a tiefling. Please.
So we went
all
from
these rainbow flags with the pedo stripes and the race stripes all on them.
Well,
why are they everywhere in my fantasy escapism game? Why are you putting political flags into my escapist fantasy.
All right.
Why am I to like that, to accept that, to just look the other way when I am reminded of what I see outside the window all the time and every year when I walk through the streets and naked men give little children bonbons and other stuff. And it's just... You are the ones complaining about the Catholic Church and hiding their PDF priests. And what are you doing? You're trying to normalize the very thing that you hate the Catholic priests for.
All right, Wisp, I think your mic is getting a little fuzzy there.
Sorry.
But I think we know his position now. And it took about 12 minutes to get there. Well, not in real time. So we can stop right now. I think we're good to know that he is not going to have an intellectual discussion with himself or his wife. Definitely not his wife.
Halfway.
Yeah.
Cut it at halfway.
You want to get to 15 or 16?
Let's get
Three more minutes.
halfway.
All right. Okay.
I was saying get to 15 because if it's not got any actual video games, I don't get it.
Every piece of media reflects the time and space in which it was created. Stories are a way to explore values, question societal norms, and imagine new possibilities. I mean, take a look at classic games.
Please tell me the deep, intricate
This is the fourth time you put this on the screen.
Please tell me the deep, intricate political narrative of an overweight Italian plumber saving the mushroom princess.
Patriarchy.
Oh God, shut up.
As a community under threat of a dominant tyrannical force and the people who rise up to protect it using the established rulership of a monarchy. That is a story about governance, responsibility, and justice.
It's about a legendary hero with a sword. He goes on a quest.
It's the timeless version. It's the timeless version of it. Not the one with a modern-day invented rainbow flag with some pedo stripes and race shards on it.
Well, the setting...
The Legend of Zelda, particularly Ocarina of Time, is just about vanquishing evil.
Yeah, you don't argue the setting as politics. You just assume there's people that procreate and they get together and they have rules and laws. They get together to eat and build things and trade. That's assumed. We don't need to know the economy of Star Trek to assume that's how people still survive and get together and hook up and make families. We don't need to know that. We just have to know the future is this post-scarcity world, and now we travel the stars. That's all we really need to know.
And I have to correct you there. Zelda is not simply about vanquishing evil. It is about restoring the old that was good.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like this. It's like, right, all stories are political. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a little sausage. He lived in a house. He went into the woods, and he lived happily ever after. The end. That was a story. No politics in that.
Yeah, I've written...
Clearly it's a vegan allegory for the meat escaping back to where it came from.
Yeah, I've written many short stories that have nothing to do with a political power or a political, like a societal service. You might say there was a bar involved, and that might involve some currency, but I never talked about it, so it's not by nature political. It's just the fact that we need a setting that you could wrap your brain around for a social world. A bar would be the obvious choice, and I didn't even describe the bar. So there's lots of ways to write a story, and nothing says it has to be political.
Like, I would like to know the deep political narrative of Pac-Man
or Cubert.
It's not even that. It's like what's political. Explain to me what the politics of A Christmas Carol is.
A rich man has to be bullied into being generous.
And how is that political?
By the power of the...
It's clearly a critique of capitalism.
Possibly.
Yeah, but capitalism isn't a political force, it's an economic force. So how is it political?
But to the socialist, everything is political, especially economics.
See? Now that explains it. To a person to whom everything's political, everything's political.
Yeah.
No. To a normal person who can see outside of that, not everything's political.
All right. Well, let's keep going.
That's my point.
We know where he's going to be headed with this. So.
All inherently very political themes. Not only that, how many campaigns have you or your group played that revolve around corrupt kings, oppressed peoples, or just the fight for equality in general? I mean, leading a rebellion.
I don't fight for equality
That sounds
in the
like
way that you
projection.
fight for equality. I don't want the grey goo to become a thing. I don't want humanity to become a transhumanist brethren moon. I am completely fine with everyone being different, but being equal before the law, meaning it doesn't count what you have between your legs or the color of your skin, but only your character and what you did.
I damn sure don't want equality because I don't want any filthy knife ears or hellspawns in my towns.
Well, we can all agree that knife ears are bad. Especially the tieflings.
Absolutely.
Who they now try to sell us as, oh, well, they're actually all good, because all tiefling characters being played are actually totally good people. They're just, well, devils.
Honestly, tieflings are even...
for some reason, there's an ominous lack of Azimar.
Tieflings are even worse because not only are they a knife ear, they're a knife-eared hellspawn. They're the absolute worst.
There are worse things than tieflings, but generally, yes.
All right.
Overthrowing or advocating for misunderstood groups of goblins. These are political acts and have far more political statement than anything I have ever said on my channel, and yet they're amazing.
The only people who have likened goblins to the juicy people was the left. The only people who have likened orcs to black Africans was the left.
Yeah, that's
explain that.
Funny, like you look at stereotypes and it's like, yeah, you get to self-report there, buddy. And again, this is a major fucking projection here.
Also, I can give you a nicer take with the whole goblins are juicy people thing, because look at gnomes. Gnomes are also likened to the juicy phenotype, but they're usually portrayed as more whimsical and crafty and engineers, full of ideas, and more often of a good nature than a bad one, while the goblins are usually of a bad nature. So could that be if you really want to see them as the juicy people, that there could be two sides to a coin, that a people can have good stereotypes and bad stereotypes, meaning they have white sheep and black sheep, good apples and bad apples, and maybe we just don't like the bad apples.
Yeah, and then when it comes to gnomes, they're more mischievous than evil or abhorrent. In fact, I played a campaign with Threadnought where he played a gnome.
That's his problem.
All right.
Oh, there wasn't a problem. It was just tomfoolery.
Okay. All right. Let's keep going here. 2 more minutes.
Mainstay in campaigns. But no one calls those political. Why? It's because they're comfortable. They fit with the status quo. But the moment a game touches on topics like gender or race, people start throwing around the word political like it's a slur. I can say I believe in women's rights, and people will cry out that I shouldn't infuse politics into my channel, but I can then suggest it's an interesting character choice to have a paladin choose to betray their king, and not one person got upset by that? Despite...
Yeah, a paladin could do that if the paladin judges the king to not be in the virtue of his god. Yes.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
That's the whole point of a paladin.
The paladins are always your goody two-shoes holy boys.
No, there can be dark paladins, but they would still... That's the thing about the god of the paladin. That's what matters.
Like if you have a character in this sort of D&D setting or Pathfinder setting, whatever, and they start talking about human rights and whatever, and you're like, okay, is he a politician? Is he the town drunk? What's his deal? And if there's no...
I'm all in Faerun. I'm all for human rights, because then we can finally get rid of the tieflings and the dwarves and the orcs.
Hey, leave the dwarves out of this.
Well, the concept
leave the dwarves out of this.
The concept is the setting has
to... they're human. They're human rights, not dwarf rights. Not elf rights.
The
not
setting
rights. They're human rights.
Has to facilitate the existence of the character to explain why they are the way they are. Is there some conflict between these races? Is the monarchy in the way? Like that's fine. You have to explain where these views are going and why they exist. You can't just say, you know what, everyone should get free wheelchairs. And you're like, why? Because everyone deserves it. It's a human right because I said so. And you're like, okay, are you crazy? Like, what's a wheelchair? Like, you have to get into all this nuance. and it
If I
invents
sell
shit.
my wheelchair, do I get a new one for free?
Yeah, there's all this crap you have to do to facilitate this concept that I don't know, someone made some sort of organization for wheelchairs that build them, and the king
like
appointed some.
We have the
chancellor?
wheelchair debate every month, it seems.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it this way: if I ever DM and I have a player who uses a wheelchair, every roll you do is at disadvantage.
Okay, well, this is the base concept I said before in the argument, which is if something does not fit and does not feel like it fits, it's ham-fisted and it's forcing. You're forcing the audience to accept a thing that does not feel or sound or even make sense. That's it. He gave the example of a paladin. Why did anyone freak out about the paladin breaking his vows? It's like, because that's a normal scenario in a fantasy world.
That depends very much on what we're talking about. He said betraying his king. That's not necessarily betraying his vows.
Pretty much, yeah.
Very different thing.
Yeah.
Paladins are very zealous people.
Yeah, that would actually make sense if the king breaks the religion he's at for. So yeah. Okay.
Objectively based on the definitions of the words we've discussed in this video, far more political. The truth is, discussing diversity and social implications or identity isn't an intrusion of politics into games.
Yes, it is. Wizards removed half-breeds from D&D because they thought that half-breeds are racist. Because there should be no races, there should be species. But now that they call them all species, means that they can't actually have kids with each other, which is horrible. Because the whole half-breed thing was that brought very interesting stories into the world.
Yeah.
And now you have different species, which is, by the way more racist. Because you're
Honestly,
saying,
those
orcs are really not. They look humanoid, but they're really not human. They're something else. So why the hell should we accept them?
Honestly, it kind of comes across as the left just being against interracial marriage.
Well, the left are eugenicists, so
yeah, makes sense.
Stay in your lane is the message.
All right. Here is a. Oh, it's from. Let me just shut that over. From Mr. What the Egad. Thank you, sir. What do you got to say? This guy is statist. He believes the state is neutral and without bias. Really? Since the status quo is changing, he thinks things are political now. I don't know if you're aware of that. Yeah, I think he still believes it was always political, regardless of what the status quo was previously. And he's trying to defend his wife's feelings, even though her position is all over the place. So, I don't know. I would have to pay attention to this guy a bit more to see whether he is in fact statist and what his thoughts are. Because he just rambled on about semantics, about politics, which I don't even know exactly what his position is. So I don't know what he would...
I don't remember if it was Pathfinder 2 that made your race now a class that you can level up. So the more you level up your race class, the more race attributes you get. So I guess you get more pointy-eared if you put more skill points into elf.
So the
you get better at stealing if you go goblin.
So
it's just completely. It's just deranged nonsense.
Yeah. So the World of Warcraft elves with the really really long ears, you got to upgrade to those from D&D or Pathfinder.
I don't
That's
fucking
weird.
know anymore.
Okay.
And then these people wonder why people abandon their system.
Well, I don't know. I would have to actually spend more time to listen to this guy because he seems to be left-leaning, obviously.
Let's do that. He's a great addition to the crazy Christian woman yesterday. Pseudo-Christian.
We have the tabletop leftist and his crazy wife, and then we have the whatever that we watched yesterday talking about movies about Jesus. What a great combination every other week. Leftist and then religious nut job. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, we finally are at the point where we have a leftist crazy nut job and a right wing maybe crazy nut job.
Yeah, we're not sure what her.
I wouldn't say this guy's right wing.
No. There's a young
the
lady.
crazy woman yesterday.
Yeah, she was. She was in love with Jesus, very much so, and dying.
Who was insisting that only God is good and nobody else. Was saying that with a very vicious smile.
And she can't wait to join him in heaven. I'm like, wow.
I did not watch that. I was working.
Which my response to that was, how are you going to join him in heaven if you're not good?
So I kind of wish I wasn't working yesterday. That sounds like it'd be fun to watch.
Yeah. Because her belief is that is automatically stripped away from you after death, which is what the agnostics actually believe. So she gave away that she is actually the Gnostic who's trying to get you to join her stupid belief.
Well, she can believe whatever she likes in the most passionate way. It's when you rationalize your belief, and she revealed herself right at the end of the video. We're like, oh, this is extreme. This is way too far. You've crossed several lines.
Yes.
So I don't mind whatever you believe in, and you think that God is great. I think that's beautiful. You have all these wonderful thoughts in your head. But to then just say absolutist terms and to say, well, I know the knowledge I possess is real. Therefore, I know God is XYZ and afterlife is XYZ. Then we have some issues.
That's gnosis.
In a sense, yeah. All right, a minute and a half left, and then we can say goodnight to this wonderful gentleman.
I wanted a part 2.
And it was always meant to be a part of the hobby and as the storytelling medium of a whole. It's about exploring humanity from different perspectives. It's what gives our games meaning. It's what makes them meaningful. And at the same...
And your politics, your socialist garbage is destroying that because you only allow one exact thing in there, which is your opinion, your deranged view of race and of this gender nonsense, this absolute nonsensical transhuman garbage.
And I
Goblins
do realize...
are vile, disgusting creatures that should be purged.
Okay, maybe in Warhammer, yeah. We can make the argument for, what if we do have wheelchairs in a fantasy setting? There can be an entire story behind it. It would take time to support this concept of people losing limbs or being unable to walk and having dwarven geniuses and all the resources for magical equipment. We can do that. That's fine. It would just take time. So how much setup do you need for your fantasy to work is the issue. Are people going to like playing in this world? Are we going to have flying vehicles now? How does that work? You can do these things. It's totally fine. It's all fantastic.
His problem is that he does not understand that we're sick of a pseudo-fantasy world where our villains, not even our villains, are allowed to be racist and sexist.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We want...
That is what... It's so silly. They're genocidal maniacs with weird plans and plots, but they're feminists, all right.
It's like trying to neuter 40K's Edar, for example. It's like, let them be exactly what they are. There's nothing wrong with having...
Let evil bastards be evil bastards.
Exactly. You want the flavor. You want the intensity of all of these elements to be as high as you can.
We can't have the bad guys say the N-word.
Yeah, if you want everything to be gray and boring, that's fine. But I want villains to be really good villains. I want the heroes to be sometimes really good heroes. Sometimes I want them gray too, but not all of them. I want variety. And we need those clear-cut examples. Everyone can't just be this homogenized soup. It's no good that way.
Time, it's true of movies and TV shows and video games because they are all storytelling mediums that matter and exist to make a point. And if you want to argue that they shouldn't be utilized to make a point, then you're claiming that these things...
No one's saying that, buddy. No one is...
That's called projection.
Strawman land.
Who's saying we want boring stories? We want no points. That's the opposite.
The stories, but...
The woke stories are boring.
Well.
Yeah. It's like I said really early on in this video, which feels like a lifetime ago now. That I just went... You can have politics and stories. It's great. What you don't want is a political lecture.
Yeah.
And that's what you're getting.
And that's what this guy gave us.
That was the example, I think, you brought up about Veilguard, that it's all the same. Every view, everyone has to agree. There's no negativity. There's no disagreement. Everyone's on board, and
nothing matters.
And there's no conflict. What the hell is the point of a story if you're not going to have conflict and opposing views?
I'm a lich now, by the way. I'm a skeleton. Oh, nothing's different, by the way.
Yeah.
That's something
okay,
that Baldur's...
you're a skeleton now. Okay, yeah, let's go on.
Yeah.
That's what Baldur's Gate 3 did. Like, if you want, you can just decapitate the gay day-walking vampire if you want. You can kill him if you want. You can kill the Hellspawn. You can be a complete horrible evil bastard.
All right.
And people like it for that. What was that?
Does it affect anything?
Yes, it actually does affect the story and other parts and other quest lines.
For sure. Yeah.
Great. His problem is what he is giving is not even a political lecture. What he is giving is an emotional rant, and with not much meaning, because he himself doesn't know very much. He doesn't understand very much. From the limited knowledge that he has, the things that he say do make sense. That is the problem. If he knew more, he might come to different conclusions. He might say different things. He might be less emotional because this limited view of the world, based on this limited knowledge that he's supposed to have, because the left doesn't actually explain anything in the fucking world, that keeps him in this. It's a perpetuating little prison. This is the Matrix. This is the blue pill. This is it. And he cannot even fathom what the world looks outside of that Matrix.
All right, let's go for one more minute, and we're gonna take a nice relaxing weekend.
Yeah, we got off at 16:16.
Oh yeah, you want to go to that far? Okay,
that's the halfway point.
Make it mathematically accurate. Okay.
Yes.
Things are not art. You can't have it. We can't have it both ways. Either media that we consume is art and matters and is worth caring about.
Wait. You could have lame art.
Crap is not art.
You could have boring art. You could have all kinds of mediocre art. What's their point?
Not all art or stories or media is political. As I've already mentioned, Super Mario is not something I would call political.
I will even go so far to say that brutalism isn't art.
Yeah. Like
it's
Astrobot.
It's anti-art.
Yeah, Astrobot is a cute, whimsical, charming little platformer. There's no deep political narrative or message to that game. It's just jackass alien steals a part to your PlayStation 5 spaceship. Run through fun levels to get them back.
Yeah, I think he's stretching this this concept of media is only artistic if it's political. That's weird.
I've lost what he's trying to say here.
Xenoblade Chronicles, a game I've been playing in my free time recently, is very artistic, but I wouldn't say there's any kind of deep politics to it.
What? One or two?
The first one. I've yet to...
He's playing one.
I do have the second one.
One is a deep philosophical, metaphysical conflict.
Okay, well, I'm only about halfway through the game right now.
What do you consider halfway? Because it's very long.
I just got
ends
to
in
the
Beethoven. Oh, by the way, here's another end. Oh, by the way, you thought it's over? No. Oh, by the way, it's getting worse.
Yeah, I'm up at the snow-capped mountains right now.
The snow-capped mountains. So you're on the arm.
Yeah, I'm on the arm of the Bionis.
Okay, so you believe you're at the halfway point.
All right, we have no idea what you got.
Anyway,
let us continue.
Game.
You don't even have the Monado.
Mindless dribble.
I do have the Monado. I got the Monado too.
Hang on. The slightest.
Guys, don't talk over him. We have to listen to Crazy. I have to listen to more of this.
Okay.
Do you want to rewind?
Let's hear it again.
All right.
That we consume is art and matters and is worth caring about, or it is mindless dribble that doesn't have an impact and therefore shouldn't be taken seriously in the slightest. And anytime you felt inspired by a book or a movie or a game that you played, that was ridiculous and you need to grow up.
What?
I never felt inspired by anything socialists made.
No, that sounds like that's projection and a half right there.
Glory to Ostotska.
So what game
This fucking idiot.
For the purpose of gaming, I'm assuming he's talking about tabletop games, even though he had a bunch of video game art on his thumbnail. Does that mean like...
Yeah, because he mentioned Witcher, the whatever the hell Naughty Dog's making.
And Zelda, yeah. So what exactly, like, if I'm not inspired by Zelda, therefore I don't consider it art? Or
no, we have to eat the socialists' deranged present definitions of race politics and anti-science gender nonsense, or we don't like Zelda.
Well, is that a subjective interpretation? Because I could say the exact opposite.
That is his subjective interpretation, or which he believes is the objective interpretation, the only truth.
Which requires politics.
Has the truth.
Because the thumbnail shows Ciri from Witcher, Dungeons and Dragons guidebook, Arcane with the rainbow on it, and again, whatever the hell that woman is supposed to be in the Naughty Dog game.
Bald bitch from Game That's Gonna Bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. There's plenty of Naughty Dog shills out there.
Anyway, I'm just curious where he's going here.
I personally believe that sentiment is wrong. I believe it's dead wrong. Of course, it's not ridiculous to be inspired by stories. If you weren't, you wouldn't watch this channel. So therefore...
What?
It matters. Therefore, there is no reason it shouldn't explore these concepts. The concepts that we shouldn't allow ourselves to be told are...
But you're not exploring, you're preaching. The Orville is exploring. Your Star Trek is preaching. If you don't understand the difference between those two, watch him again.
Yeah,
maybe you'll figure it out.
In order to have an exploration of an idea, that personification of the hero or whatever the mode of expression is has to come into conflict, meaning you have to challenge these ideas. So if you want to talk about rape, you better depict rape. You better have survival guilt. You better have all kinds of things going on in this violent, assaulting scenario. You can't dilly-dally. You can't walk across it with eggshells. No. You better depict it properly. Same with a war game. Same with any kind of violent scenario. You have to show it. So I don't know where this is going with politics or how this connects, but we need to have more of it. Like when we talk about watered down games.
Same with his also beloved gender issues, because if you would truly depict them, you would not be in defense of what the left is currently preaching as trans issues.
Well, you would if you wanted to do that, I guess you could have the trans person being looked down upon in society or NPCs or whatever, and it would be, okay, this is a social issue, this is possibly a character in a story, maybe another NPC, could be a companion, who knows, and that would be an issue to talk about. And that if it's done in a proper light, great, fine. We have nuance, we have dialogue options, we have conclusions to the story, but it has to be
the proper one. He couldn't because that would just not function.
This is the issue with Veilguard, because everything was pro whatever Vosh was. I don't even know what Vosh was trying to do. Whatever
that was just some brat with a stupid idea in her head.
But the universe,
some modern day leftist invention of gender, which does not exist and has nothing to do with trans stuff either.
But the setting she was in, the character she was in, all was like, oh, let's support that, let's keep that going.
And it's all contrary to her race,
and
to her culture.
And that's one very extreme side. What they should have done, if they were going to do that at all, which I don't know why they did, was have the opposite side. Was have, hey, Vosh, you're a retard. You should stop doing that. You're insane. You should get some help. Or the mother's perspective, which was, I think, more.
Side with the mother.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was more conservative /
old and wrong.
I'm trying to think of not the Kuhn, but like a flavor of the Kuhn that accepts these ideas. Like you would have to have that. You would have to have nuance. You would have to have choice.
You can't have that. Nuance is scary and complicated.
And I'm just still laughing that Corinne Bush left the studio. Was it 2 days ago? So, with
After 20 years of doing what?
uh,
What was the word they used?
Tiger Woods, PGA Golf, and The Sims.
Yeah, but it wasn't work. 20 years of work. It wasn't 20 years of contributing. It was 20 years of what was the word?
Pretty much existed.
Cleaning under the desk.
She spent
20
20 years there.
20 years of lingering.
Because I'm truly just drifting in and out of consciousness right now. Listen to this guy. Honestly, he's so boring, and I've like sort of lost track of where we are. But I've been listening in. Smud, to your point of how trash just was all you couldn't argue with him. In the older games, you'd be able to do it because that's politics done well, where you'd have an opposing idea. But you'd have an opposing idea, and you'd have to, show evidence of why Tash was, she could do what she wanted or why she was wrong. In this one, again, it was just another political lecture, and
Let's do a barf.
Yeah.
Well, I do recall in Origins you could harden characters to be more susceptible or open to ideas, which had nothing to do with the plot, nothing to do with one of their stories.
Yeah.
It was just there. It was just there to do it, and you're like, oh, that's cool. It had nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with.
Alistair became hardened just because she met his half sister.
And what do you do with that scenario? How do you deal with that? And she would ask you, or he would ask the warden what to do with that, and you would give suggestions because you're the guy in charge. So that's what you want. You want to feel empowered in these scenarios, which may or may not be political. It doesn't really matter how you characterize that. I don't care if it's political. I care if it's interesting enough that I want to pay attention to play that and do the thing, as opposed to just
Hey Meryl, don't rebuild that dangerous mirror. Compared to, my God, Tash, yes, you are a non-binary person. I will not argue at all about anything. You are 100% correct. See, two completely different things.
The article used the word spending. So Corinne Bush was spending 20 years at BioWare.
What? 20
Not
years?
contributing or working, but spending years.
That doesn't sound right. What was she?
It sounds like there was
just
a Corinne
there.
Bush in the corner.
Was he
for 20 years?
Was he in QA or
Nothing.
something? What was he doing? Like, was he doing
At the water cooler.
Oh God!
20 years.
No, he was on his first thing. I say here. If Corinne Bush wants to take the 20 years working as a man, he's going to be called a he. Tiger Woods PGA Golf was in the early 2000s, the mid 2000s. So, maybe 20 years. It's pushing it a little bit.
So not Brainstorm.
I find it really weird that Corinne Bush gets loads of credit for Veilguard when they only came on in 2022. It's weird.
I feel like she was just a janitor until Veilguard.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what do you do for the
If the previous one was a golf game and The Sims, that explains the.
Yeah, but it wasn't even the good Sims. It wasn't even the good Sims.
The worst selling.
Yeah.
Without any exaggeration, the worst selling.
Dragon Age.
Yeah.
You get exactly whom you put into the position. It's almost as if it's not the name that makes an organization. It's the people who run it. It's the people who are in it.
At least there's consistency. I'll give them that.
Okay.
Anyway, this person talking about politics. I think he got the Ladybird Big Book of Words for Christmas, and he's figured out that there's words that have more than 2 syllables. So he's trying to use all of them, and political is his latest one. Because
I think he needs to get philosophically literate, read some old philosophers, read some Greeks, read maybe some Easterners.
Oh
it
no,
helps.
it's too late for that.
I think the main reason
he's touched some grass.
No.
No, I think the main reason he's made this video is people made not so very nice comments about what his wife said.
Yeah.
And it's because his comments have attacked his worldview, he's now made this video to defend his worldview under the guise of let's talk about politics.
Right, yeah.
Where in reality he's not spoke about politics. He's just saying, listen, I'm on the right side, so whatever I think is right, and you on the wrong side, I'm going to explain it to you so that you can become right people as well.
As opposed to using that motivation and thinking critically about what he's trying to say, he's using an emotional reaction, trying to rationalize it with semantics.
Yeah. Just like his wife, just a little bit better. With his wife also saying, hey, everyone who disagrees with me, please leave.
Well, his wife was completely mindless. There was no logic to that at all. And it was just, I hate Trump. If you like Trump, well, I don't want to be friends with you. And
basically.
That's not
our audience, please leave. Otherwise our channel tanking.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to say why you really dislike someone, there should be a very clear reason. There should be this thing happened. I did not like that. I reacted so strongly, and that's how I think. Because you can't change that opinion. You're always going to be that way. Same with people about Trump now. I know family members and friends, they just don't like the guy. I'm like, that's great. But they don't try to justify it. They don't try to reason it out. They don't really care.
Yeah, did you say don't like him and that's it? Then you don't have the conversation because, like, well, I'm not going to have an argument.
Exactly, and I'm sure that'll pop up in the next 4 years because that's what we're going to be dealing with.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the new Maggie May video. She's got new material.
Oh boy, yes she will. I forgot about
that. But what I was going to say, if you're going to talk politics, a serious discussion about politics in video games should never start with, I was raised. It's like, no, we don't care about that at all because that's just semantic bullshit that no one cares about. When I talk about stuff, I don't have to explain where, how, what I was raised as or done. I just say my opinion, and then I try and use evidence to back it up.
Yeah.
I just feel this is more and more. They're talking about, our unity is good. Politics is about unity. Also, please leave if you disagree with us.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's kumbaya, everyone holding hands in the meadows, skipping merrily, and then that's not going to happen because someone will argue with somebody over the fucking couscous or something. And then next thing you know, it's the third couscous versus the glorious revolution of couscous or whatever.
Off the cliff with you.
Yep.
All right.
It's kumbaya or death.
Peaceful death. Because they're not. Beyond dice rolls, stat sheets, and mechanics, our games are fundamentally storytelling. That's the heart of this hobby. It's what set.
Oh, thank God. I had no idea that D&D was about storytelling. I just thought it was a bunch of fat losers around the table being dice rollers.
Which is what the left use as insults against us, and we used this argument that he's bringing right now. We use these arguments as defense against the woke coming in the first place, because we said we are about exploring all these things from all facets. That's what these games, what these stories were always about. We don't need your one-sided, preachy, modern politics, weird, ideological nonsense crap. We don't need that. It breaks it. And now it's all in there, and he's defending it with the very argument of, they're all for exploring ideas. Like, fuck you.
If you want to explore these ideas, why are we not allowed to be against them? That's kind of the point of exploring an idea.
Because he's on the right side of history.
Well, in order to have a setting or scenario in a game or video game, it would have to be entertaining. And I cannot see questioning someone's gender or what their mental state is, what they think they are, as something relevant, unless we're talking about some sort of science fiction story where the identity of the person and their affiliation with a thing is questioned. Like, are you really a part of this star or this futuristic machine that you integrated your consciousness into. But that's weird. How does that make sense?
If you want to do that, you could play Eclipse Phase, but not Dungeons and Dragons.
It would have to be some sort of
world, even if you have magic. One thing, that's number two, because you have magic. If you play in a medieval world, you have bigger, more pressing problems every day than to bother with something so luxurious of a problem.
Yeah, well, you need some sort of mind-body dualism to set the tone and the setting going forward, and then you have a conflict and you have this transformation. You're like, oh, cool. Then what are you?
While also, best example, Faerun. If you have this strange problem, whether it's the real thing or the weird, twisted, fetishistic version of the left, then, my character has this problem and is on a lifelong quest to actually transition. I live in a magical world, so maybe there's a potion somewhere, or I have heard of this cursed artifact bell that would actually be a blessing for me.
Yeah.
So what for you would be a curse, for me it is a blessing. Let's find the bell.
I always go back to the Mass Effect 2 scenario of Legion's loyalty mission, where is it ethical to rewrite the heretics? Do they have an identity? Do their existence think along the same lines of organics? And we can compare that, say, that's a fascinating scientific concept, or at least one that we dealt with 40, 50 years ago in science fiction with iRobot or anything by Asimov, essentially. And great. BioWare had some writers worth their ink. Good stuff. And then the next story, they get reduced to 150 asset points if you rewrote them. If not, they're not as much. So, it's like, great, we have the concept, we just execute it horribly. And it's not just that, it's like every other example from the first game to the third of Mass Effect trilogy. So it's one thing to say, well, we set it up, but we don't know how to tell the story in the first place, which is what I want to get at with this sort of topic is, if you have a trans character or supposedly something where they identify as not as themselves, what's the payoff? Like, what's the point of all that? Where are you going with this plot?
This is just patting the creator's fetishism on the back.
Is Tosh
what's the point?
Part of something bigger? This is just her side story? It's like, nope, just her side story. Has no relevance on anything.
It's no events. It's just the fact that
pain involved.
Patrick Weeks got to masturbate furiously over something on screen, and that was it.
Yeah.
Tasha's just his wet dream, and you're like, okay, that's disturbing and disgusting. So thank you for that.
Right.
Thank you for that. Those nightmarish thoughts.
And the note written by Tash in there is written in the most horrible Tumblr nonsense that you could come up with. There's nothing in-world fantasy about that. That's pure modern Tumblr nonsense.
There's another thing I wanted to add about, obviously, the argument about politics in games, and where it comes into the quotation marks politics, is how games are turned into therapy sessions for the creators. That's something that a lot of people have mentioned, and I do think that is a massive issue where they are using, in certain modern day politics, not because they think the setting needs it, but more because they just have severe daddy issues and they need to out it some way. And unfortunately, the poor gamer's got to sit through 15 hours of this.
The motivation. The motivation.
There is another thing about that, because before these people were in the industry, they just wrote things on either Tumblr or fanfiction websites, or made in rare cases made RPG Maker games. Some of them even good and much better written than this stuff. But this is the stuff not written by the actually competent people on all of these sites. This is the stuff written by the incompetent reject, the 90% horrid fetishists.
Well, the motivation
That's what this is.
of the character does have a certain need to alleviate that tension of whatever motivates them to make the art in the first place. But the focus should then be intellect. It should be, I am making a thing for someone else through my desire to express myself. It's kind of like a pop artist. They're going to make pop music, and pop music is nothing special, but it's the thing that's popular at that time of the year or that time of the generation.
Mm-hmm.
And we look at like Queen, for example, as a very popular rock and roll band, but they're not exactly what you consider classic rock and roll or 70s rock and roll. They're there, and they have amazing talent and skill, but it's not like David Bowie rock and roll. It's not like the Doors. It's not.
No, it's Queen.
It's their flavor of their expressions in a very. The music is very simple. The lyrics are very simple until we get to Bohemian Rhapsody and other things. But for the most part, it's pop. It's pop rock. Compare that to Michael Jackson. Compare that to Bjork. Compare that to Bowie, etc.
Well, it's like when people mention, because it always gets me when people say rock and roll, and I always have to ask, well, which rock and roll are you on about? Because there's two versions of it. You've got the 1950s rock and roll, which is what over in the UK people would classify it as, or as you've mentioned out, Smudge, you've got the rock and roll of like the 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? So
Very
it's
different,
two very different genres, but still called similar things. Anyway, can't carry on. I only know about it because my parents loved rock and roll, so it's weird.
I've had these discussions, Okay, another minute. Let's keep going.
It's tabletop RPGs, video games, and narrative-driven board games apart from any other board game or war game ever. When you sit down to play, you aren't just moving pieces on a board or controlling a character with special abilities. You're creating a story. That story might be about heroism or discovery or loss or triumph, but at its core, it's a story.
What's the political message behind Snakes and Ladders? Because that's a board game with pieces moving on it.
No,
I'm joking.
Snakes and Ladders is a Hindu game. It's about your getting upwards and falling downwards in the wheel of samsara in your incarnations.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes. Yes, it's actually a religious game.
Oh boy.
I didn't know that.
I thought it was a Hindu game because at certain points when I used to play it, I got gang raped by a bunch of Pakistani men. But anyway.
Oh dear.
That's a British
But I don't remember the name of the game. It was one of these these fan-made RPG Maker games. They're likely never getting to be finished when they're big and ambitious. But this one was rather far developed, and it had several characters that were actually going through different variants of a trans story, but they weren't all about it. Wasn't about the fetishism. Interestingly enough, I remember the mage in the group turned out to actually be the brother of the mage that he was regularly transforming himself into because it was his sister who died, that he wanted to keep the memory alive of and was obsessed about that. That plays into all of this, but it's a non-sexual version of that of course is deranged in its own way, but it's interesting.
Oh.
And it's not Tash.
Okay.
And there's you can tell stories with this theme in it.
You know,
you have to be actually creative.
You know, when we get to the halfway point, could you skip forward to see if there's any actual clips of video game evidence of what he's going to bring up?
That'd be nice, yeah.
If we go through
pictures of the Triforce.
I will.
Yeah, but if we go through the whole thing and there's zero, then I'll put a comment going, where are the video games? This is just a lecture.
I'm going to ask the audience to do that for us because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who wants to watch this. If they're going to be a part 2. If there
I don't know why anyone would want to watch this.
Well, I don't want to.
Why the fuck would there be a part 2?
I don't want to poison the well. I don't want to because I like going in blind. I don't know if you guys. If you want to watch it, be my guest.
I'm so happy we finally have new good content.
I know. Well, good content in quotes.
Content in quotes, good in quotes,
asterisk
in quotes.
cross. 1, 2, 3 citation.
I feel like just how the bitch from yesterday is the new Maggie. This guy could be the new Cavernacle.
Oh no, one. Cavernacle is his own creature.
He's making more videos about Nazis. It's amazing.
Oh really?
Now I know what the full is. That's a chocolate orange.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, ever since Labour's got in power, the government he's wanted, there's still Nazis in charge of the country. And you're like, man, you're just not happy about anything, are you?
Did the prices of chocolate oranges increase?
The pyramid.
I couldn't tell you because I don't buy chocolate oranges because I have 2 small children. I don't have money. I'm actually poor.
All right.
Well, it costs a lot of money to have 2 small children. You're constantly moving away because kidnapping charges and everything.
All right.
But...
Well, we can keep going till the 16.
Yeah.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4, it's a story that asks one essential question. What if? What if I lived in a world with magic? What if dragons...
What if I lived in a world where I didn't watch this fucking video? Oh, it's so happy world.
Like, I was planning ahead of it. I don't think he ever brings up video games.
Yeah, he's all obfuscating now with the old argument that we brought on, that you can make these stories about anything you want. You don't need to push your politics as the canon into the setting. Just have your homebrew nonsense. You can do that. But these narcissistic, ideological cultists are never satisfied with that. They have to have their headcanon fantasy nonsense as the canon, as the thing that everybody has to play, which is why this homebrew overpowered nonsense combat wheelchair is now a standard thing.
Well, what he
have
said
to respect or else
is too general when you're talking about storytelling. When you say fantasy, you don't say what if. You say, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be fun if these things were possible? You can't just say what if, because that's... What if I go to bed tonight and have a great dream about random shit? You need to be specific with genre and content and character and plot and goal and progression and dramatic structure and all kinds of other things.
Because we still have
What
rules.
if I just made a game that was just modern day California? Oh, thank you, BioWare. What's this?
Fire simulator.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
full of eucalyptus trees, and now it's all on fire because in order to spread their seeds, they explode.
You turn on
after
all the
50
fire
years.
hydrants and make a water table so it distributes evenly.
They dumped the reservoirs because dumping water into the Pacific Ocean, something about the environment, I don't know.
It's to
Just
stop
because
all those.
they
It's
have
to.
to repair them.
It's very simple. They were trying to put out the fires in the reefs. Very simple. Big brain. Stop those underwater fires.
Gavin Newsom, just like Justin Trudeau, just like Olaf Scholz and Robert Habeck, are all jealous of China and how it's run. They all exclaimed that loudly on TV. So Gavin Newsom wanted to emulate China by having fake fire hydrants, just like China. That's it.
Just to get back on this wonderful, interesting topic. Saying what if, you could say what if about absolutely everything. What if there was no LGBTQ plus political stuff shoved in? But if I said that to this guy, he'd be like, "Ooh, how dare you say that? What if there's no dragons?" Okay.
What if there were half elves? What if communism worked?
Yeah, all those fantasy ideas.
Yeah, what if post scarcity? It's like, yes, that's the ideal fantasy world of reality.
Yeah.
I'm sure we wouldn't need capitalism at that point, but that's kind of irrelevant.
For some reason, not even these magical worlds have a perpetuum mobile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rise above my current circumstance and become a hero. These questions drive human creativity. They push us to imagine new possibilities and explore worlds all beyond our own. They let us escape. Yes, that is true. But not just from the mundane realities of life, like so many people on the internet seem to insist they're meant to do. They let us escape into a deeper understanding of ourselves.
What? You're escaping into yourself?
You didn't do that. You didn't do that because that means reflection, and you haven't done that, or you wouldn't be so emotionally immature. Just like your wife is even more emotionally immature than you, because you don't reflect, you don't look inward.
There's no even point arguing this. I'm listening to this guy talk about it, and it always makes me think. One of the last games of like Pathfinder I did, I played an alcoholic rogue who was so drunk they couldn't do anything, and he used to just say during fight bits, yeah, I'll be with you in a minute, and sat down. And I have to think, what was that meant to describe?
I don't think most gamers go into some sort of meditative, introspective state playing a video game. Yes, they calm themselves down and they excite other elements of their person playing a game, but no, it's not. If that's the case, we would all be Buddhist geniuses that would be inspired every time we play a video game and have different outlooks on life when we stop playing. So no, that's not the same thing. And all you have to do is actually stop, meditate for 20 minutes and get up. Well, whenever. And compare that to a 20-minute session of playing your favorite game. There's very different things going on in your brain. So
I'm sure in 2009, in the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, being called faggot was so enlightening and made us rethink our lives.
Yeah, and the whole thing with RPGs is to role play as someone or something different.
Yeah, you're not going to find enlightenment thinking you're a magical pixie fairy in some tabletop game. You're going to have fun.
I'm damn sure not going to find enlightenment in being a dwarf with a crippling bar debt.
Yeah.
No, the thing is that it does help you, give you another perspective, but that requires you also to be able to take that other perspective. But people like his wife will usually only play themselves with a veneer of another character. It may be called a dwarf or an orc on the piece of paper, but she's not actually playing that other character. She's playing herself. And that is not a sign of somebody who reflects or who can reflect. That is the sign of somebody who's stuck. If you're at that age, there's not much gonna happen anymore. Unless you really sit down every day.
Still just feel this entire video is solely because his wife said fuck Trump, and they've had to explain the reason behind saying fuck Trump, and I don't understand why.
He has to defend his wife so she can feel emotionally secure again.
All right. We're gonna stop.
And tell everyone to go away so that he can feel unity.
We're gonna stop anytime where we think it's a good point before we get to the halfway point. Here we go.
Yeah.
Because these what ifs go beyond magic and monsters. What if I were a girl instead of a boy? What if I grew up in a society on the brink of collapse? What if I had wealth and power or none at all? Those aren't political questions. They're...
Wait. So you're agreeing that not all stories are political?
Political then. Yeah.
Oops.
Okay. We can end the video right there.
No, that was his point to begin with. His excuse was it's not that it's all not political. He wanted us to get away from the everything is political stance. I've been trying to tell you that in the beginning. The everything is political stance is only used as a wedge to get into everything and then change it towards the commie shit. And then once it is changed to the commie shit, the commies will say, oh, it's not political, so that you will not have a say in changing it back. And this is where we are now. He's not aware of this. He's not a malicious agent. He's a useful nincompoop. He thinks this is all for the good, for the betterment of humanity, for the right side of history that brings us to utopia. Oh, that's him. He's a nice, very nice man who doesn't know any better.
Let's get to the memes. I'm gonna try not to play on these videos because I don't know how long they are. I don't know what's in them.
But I'm trying to tell people, stop sending us these videos. We will not watch them.
Memes are images, JPEGs, GIFs, whatever, that have funny little sayings and maybe cartoons.
All right, starting with Grandmaster Thule.
All right, we can't win war against ISIS by killing them. We need to find them jobs.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
That's what we're doing right now.
All you
Scrubs.
do is talk.
Oh,
yeah.
Dr. Cox, the man, the myth, the legend.
Wanna see me stop a woman from becoming president? Wanna see me do it again? The hippies have us surrounded, Bobby.
Just have us surrounded, Bobby.
Dream.
I'll tell you what. Yes.
Vote DDD.
Yeah.
Dream of what exactly?
Just dream.
Let me think.
He's the king of Dreamland.
Okay, dear liberals, I have been captured and imprisoned inside this bean. I have seen horrors no human should see. Save me, I implore you. Footsteps. They're here. My
coordinates. Bean.
Got cut off. Got cut off.
I
What?
don't understand.
It's just a shit post.
Yeah.
So there I was, using my massive ego to destroy my ego. I did it. Me.
I love that he has an extra third glass for his third eye.
Yeah.
He's enlightened.
The soul-crushing weight of living in a totalitarian clown world.
And then the memes. And then the memes holding it up.
Okay. That is too many words.
I can read it.
No, this too many. Don't worry.
Okay.
Too much for a meme.
Yeah.
Back in my day, politicians with fascist agendas, at least they made some sort of rationalization or told a reasonable sounding speech. These days, they just refuse to answer, mumble a bunch of gibberish, or pretend they don't know what words mean.
Yeah.
Shitty video terrorizes Smudcast? No.
No, that was the Birdman one.
This wasn't terrible apart from a woman was talking. But
That was just such an example. Why
skipping the
does
two
she have to be
videos,
such a
man.
stereotype?
Me watching grown-ass
video is pretty funny.
Me watching grown-ass people using brain rot language just to be cool. Pathetic.
Again, very small, lots of words.
Kirby says he wants to be your friend.
No.
But his
No, hold on.
No,
That's
no.
read on your own time.
Favorite Star Wars trilogy? Let me know why below. Please be respectful of opinions. Prequel, original, sequel.
I love
democracy.
Har har. Yep.
Get on with it. Yeah. I'm saving that.
That's good. Good stuff.
I'm gonna come.
Oh yeah.
How was that real?
That is real. He did say
How
that.
was that real?
It's amazing.
For years I believed that was fake.
It's just
Be gone. What is this?
Okay, that is the Perkins mascot. They made an anime girl mascot, and
You're
and I love it. It's
yeah,
adorable.
we've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've seen it before. It's
Be
just
gone,
cute.
homosexual.
Oh dear.
It's
They're
just
also pardoning the PDF files.
I
Yeah.
paid my Wi-Fi bill for this.
you know what? I'm sending it to you, Sarah, so we have it on hand. There you go.
All right. As much as they need foreign aid, endless funding, DEI, LA fire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's more. That's very
fucking entire nation.
That's very close to reality.
Yeah.
That's not close to reality. That just is reality.
No. Yeah.
Interracial couple F entire nation. Oh.
Just spit my coffee out.
The judging hat.
Meanwhile, the judging hat.
All right. I'm not reading all that.
This is an amazing one.
It's probably
Yeah.
awesome, but it's too big.
It is.
In your own time, yes.
The feeling when knee surgery is tomorrow.
It's weird, but I kind of like it.
And then, hey Lois, I'm a gender now. You're welcome.
Wowzers! This really demonstrates our understanding of Karl Marx and lol.
Left-wing memes, a whole thesis, a whole manifesto, right-wing memes, N-word.
I'm not reading this.
All right.
All artists political MFs when I lock them in a steel room and force them to explain the political meaning behind a video of a Breakson
getting
face fucked by a Charizard.
It's like, no!
Wow.
Yes, what is the deep political narrative of all the weird Pokemon porn?
Silence, political analyst from prestigious Western University.
Yeah.
Greek taxi. A Greek taxi driver is talking.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Oh my God.
Looking for a book to help resist Trump? Try this gay immigration Muslim furry romance. Pikachu finishes with Thunderbolt.
That was from Slate.
Oh, here's the thing. That book is real.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yes, please tell a Muslim man to read gay, furry, weird shit. I'm sure that'll go over real well. I'm sure that
what?
Go really well.
No.
Can't you read? It's not telling it to the Muslim. It's that you are supposed to read about the immigrant Muslim furry.
Yeah.
The gay Muslim immigrant furry.
Point still stands.
So we don't know what's
for
happening
you.
with BioWare Edmonton. The rumor is it's going to be closing down soon, but we don't know.
I figured I might as well bring that up since that
Yeah.
that had just come into my feed.
It's been in overtime for 5 years.
Yeah, we've been waiting since Andromeda really, but
yeah.
I promise I won't get. Sorry?
I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to close.
There's no money.
Edmonton.
Yeah.
They've got, was it Austin? The same, they're not going to close.
Well, Austin still has Old Republic, I think, still a thing.
Yeah.
So they could retool for Mass Effect, but I can't see that working out very well.
Yeah, but I don't. But I think it's on the way out.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think Vale. I think they put way too much money into Veilguard.
You don't say.
I think the failure is a lot bigger, and like you say, with that Corinne Bush leaving, the fact that they never even mentioned, well, the sales, we're not going to talk about them. It's like, okay.
What
That's
sales?
bad.
Answer for your fellow countrymen, Smud, or laugh at them. Either or is fine.
Oh yeah,
And short fat otaku being an idiot.
Yeah, all that BS.
His last good take was his video on virtue signaling, and it's been downhill since then. It was probably downhill before that. He just had one more good take.
Ruby Ridge. I'm not sure.
Ruby Ridge, aka, I'll let you know. I'll give you the TLDR. A federal agent tricked a man into making a sawed-off shotgun, told him to appear in court, told him the wrong day. Government went and murdered his family.
Huh.
And Devlin, whatever his fucking name is defending this because they had a bench warrant.
Yep.
Fuck this guy.
The government ruled that the government was wrong, which is very rare. And yet he says the government was right to shoot him.
Yeah, here's the thing. On the whole Ruby Ridge thing, the federal agent who caused all this admitted it was an entrapment scheme, and the man was cleared of all charges. But that doesn't bring his family back.
Okay. If you guys don't understand this meme, I did it California, I saved the fish. Gavin Newsom was accused of putting funds into saving some sort of fish with the water. So he was using
because there's like an endangered fish in a pool somewhere in California,
and
that's not even native.
And apparently the fish is not even used for eating. It's just a wildlife animal.
Yeah, it's just there.
Meanwhile, talk about having the high ground.
Little opposite scenario, but yeah, I see what's going on.
Oh God, excuse me, I'm sorry.
I've heard of having the high ground, but this is ridiculous.
Trump's California, you're fired.
1920 I can't read this too much.
Yeah.
It's the eucalyptus trees spreading by exploding.
Yeah.
Onward, Buttercup. There's fuckery to spread. What is this even mean?
It's a taxidermied squirrel riding on a pony.
Yeah, I read that out because I was like, I'm confused.
I guess maybe it's just the left in a nutshell.
It's just a shit post.
All right.
Nutshell.
I was. I don't want to say fun, but certainly something.
Are we going to cover this guy
I think it
tomorrow
was
or next week? I don't think we should. I think that was enough.
Hey, he's getting into the
What
fun
about
bits.
never covering them ever again?
Of course, we can't just put everyone on the blacklist. We'll have nobody
No,
to cover anymore.
we can put everyone on the blacklist.
Insane.
Has someone with the power to do it? No, we can't just put everyone in the blacklist. We're losing.
You
country.
just want a commie list. That's something else.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
You could put this guy on a blacklist.
Well, if it was less
On the shit
rambling
list.
and he had a point, that would have been great. But
If he had less
You're
women
just making
talking.
emotional arguments now. You're no better than him now.
You know what? Honestly, Whisp and I don't mind. I assume we would both not mind doing the part 2.
All right. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys tomorrow or Monday or whenever you guys feel like it. But that's enough
Well,
for me.
Yay!
I've got a long weekend for Martin Luther King Day, so
That is
whatever.
true.
So if we do the part 2 and you want to join, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Yeah, like
All right.
I'll
But
be
Reformation
free.
Day was months ago. What are you talking about?
Wait, what?
Markets are
Let me
closed
just
on
check
Monday,
my,
and we're getting a big president-elect becoming
Oh,
president.
you mean the
Well,
Black
that, yeah.
Martin Luther?
And the holiday, yeah.
The point is, I get a paid holiday on Monday.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for that. Whatever this video is trying to do, I still don't know.
The usual leftist bullshit.
I want to say he's doing a response to his previous video for some reason, but
I'll follow up.
I think it's just mean comments.
something about. Well, that was part of it. Yeah.
No, I honestly think that's the whole thing. It's just people were mean to his wife, and so he's got to defend his wife. So I'm like, okay, that's lovely. I don't care about your wife.
Yeah, usually DMs or GMs are very they're very opinionated. They're like, I don't care. I'm the DM or I'm the GM. I can do whatever I want. This guy's kind of defending himself. It's like, you don't have to do that.
I have until shown proof to the contrary. I will even only believe that they weren't mean to his wife. They were just people complaining that they don't want to hear about the trap.
Maybe. I don't know the context. So.
And that's the wife being disagreed with, and because the wife isn't used to negative emotion and rejection, she cried.
Women.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the suggestion. Maybe we'll catch him another video. He has a whole bunch, so I'm not surprised we won't cover him again. But yeah, this was a good transition from crazy right or religious person.
I don't even know what he is.
Mind encroached person to.
I thought a mind encroached person.
Whatever you want to call her, from Jesus loving fanatic to
I don't think that's Jesus she loves.
Oh no, she said she loves Jesus.
Yeah, she says that.
Was it like the Mormon belief where they think they're going to become gods of their own planet and have spirit babies?
Well,
anyway,
she was arguing against that, but I kind of became that. But no, this was I don't know exactly. Definitely left leaning, but just mishmash of rambling, hard to decipher.
Completely insane.
No, just rambling.
Mainly emotional arguments that he thinks are rational arguments.
The definition was a mess. That was the worst. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and that's the entire problem of these leftists. They of the useful ones in the green square. They don't know enough to have an actual, real, reflective position. They just believe that they have that.
Just pick a word, pick a definition, run with it, and then focus your thoughts, because that was just a rambling, emotional.
Yeah. If they actually understood what is going on, they would not support the party they support. They might form their own.
Yeah, well, I think it's more than as actually the wife said. It's not about parties, and she was like, no, it's about the rich. Like, oh, it's a class struggle. Ooh, what is that topic about? So, yep.
She said, I support Eat the Rich. I'm like, okay.
Well, when are you going to protest Larry Fink then?
Wow.
When are you going to protest Bernie Sanders and Nancy Pelosi and then Biden?
Yes.
I find it hilarious that these people who go around screaming "Eat the rich," worship the rich, but that support their ideologies.
They don't know that that's the same thing. That's the trick.
Anyway, thank you so much. We will talk to you guys real soon. Have yourself a great weekend and good night.
Goodbye. Have a wonderful night.